shaking the cobwebs out of it.
What?
Just shaking the cobwebs. Sorry.
Are you started?
Yeah, we started.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am shaking the cobwebs off of things. I'm Dan.
Mm-hmm. You want to just go straight into it?
I can do that if you want to do it. Here we maybe. I said we could do it.
No,
I
okay.
was wrong. No, we can't.
Oh, there it is.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday.
Weird Job Wednesday.
Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday.
Another Weird Job Wednesday.
What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday.
It's a Weird Job Wednesday.
Just another Weird Job Wednesday.
Just another Weird Job Wednesday.
Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday.
This is the
Just
Wednesday.
another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Mortgage Solutions, StreamlineFlorida.com. Talk to Brian Zymel and his team. Interest rates are crazy low. It's probably advantageous for you to at least look at your life business and decide, like, hey, maybe I should take some money out of my house, pay off all my debt, maybe get my mortgage insurance off, monthly payment, just reconfigure everything for your best possible life business decision.
I've done this multiple times, and I got to tell you,
I did too. I've done it twice within the past 2 years.
Correct.
Once was to drop it down to 15 years.
Drop it low.
And then once the interest rate got so low, Brian Zymel and his team are like, hey, it's better if you refinance, you will get a lower payment.
Here, I stay up at night.
It doesn't cost you anything.
No, I stay up at night thinking of a simpler way for us to say that than what Tom just did. And what he said was all accurate. Everything he said was accurate. Here's why you know it's a great decision with Streamline. Okay, you ready? The first time I called. The second time he called me. Brian was like, nah, you're just going to want to do this. You're going to want to do this. It's going to help you out. It's going to save you some financial trouble.
Just talk to all the other BDMs. There's been hundreds that have either gotten a mortgage or refinance. They've used Streamline. They've had a great experience. Brian is the most motivated.
He's so motivated. We talk to him almost daily.
Mortgageman that you could possibly think of. Yeah. And he makes sure that every BDM is taken care of personally.
Yes, indeed. Right. On the line with us for Weird Job Wednesday, we have Abner Quackenbush.
God damn it. I knew.
Abner, welcome to the program.
I don't want to call him.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Now, do you want us to use your full...
Mr. Quackenbush.
Do we want to use your full name of Lil Abner Quackenbush, or do you prefer to just... do you want to call us Quackenbush, Abner, Lil Quackenbush? Your choice.
I like Little Abner, but if Abner is easier for you, you can go with Abner.
Okay, we'll go Abner.
So, Abner, what do you do for a living?
I'm an activities director at a high school.
All right. Coach Quackenbush.
All right.
What kind of activity?
Yeah. What does that mean? Activities director, like a cruise director?
You know what? I never thought of it that way, but it kind of is. Pretty much any activity on campus goes through me. I manage the school's calendar.
So you're writing a calendar. Wow, look at this guy.
I do that.
Hold on, Abner.
Yeah, I know.
Abner, are you?
I'm going to start calling Samantha Ann Quackenbush.
Are you a fan of The Office?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember
I like his laugh.
In The Office when they got bought out by a new company and then Pam realized that because of...
Saber.
Yeah, because of Saber didn't know anybody's position really because they bought the company, so she just made up a fake position for herself of
Yeah.
like office administrator or something,
Oh, yeah.
whatever it was.
Oh, it's the Danny Denny executive producer.
And then then they just told like I'm the office, and then
I love executive producer.
And then all the higher ups like, oh yeah, okay, that's what you do. All right, good. And then you just did you somehow like a new principal or someone come in and then you're like, well, hold on, you used to be the wood shop guy, and you're like, I'm activities director, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, that's what you do now. And then you're like, yes, and then basically
He's the calendar king.
you have figured out a way to just write in a calendar and then come up with wacky shirt day.
Please tell me he's correct.
I wish. Maybe
Oh,
maybe
damn.
years ago. But I know this has been a position that's been in the school for at least over 10 years.
Okay.
Oh my God!
probably
It's
way
worse
longer.
than we thought in there,
Well,
Tom.
even 20 years.
So
This was around when I was there.
someone scammed the system 20 years ago, and you're
This
benefiting
guy
now.
was a genius. He's the DB Cooper of school jobs.
Do you
Got
have
away with it?
Do you have to actually? Well, first, let's talk about your background. Do you have like a?
Well, first let's talk
Are-
about the
were
way he
you-
looks, because I'm picturing this Abner Quackenbush. And are you a dumpy man? Are you a tall, skinny man?
Why does that matter, Daniel?
Well,
Come on.
because in my mind, I'm painting. I mean, I don't know if you realize this, Tom, but we're doing radio here, and there's no pictures. So, in order to properly tell the story, I feel like we need to know what our Quackenbush looks like.
Medium and dumpy.
No.
See? Perfect.
Yeah,
now,
all slob,
now
then.
we can go. All slobs all the time. I love you, Abner.
Were you, did you used to be a teacher and then like migrated into this position?
No, actually spent a lot of years in mostly in retail, and I wanted to get out. And I was starting to looking for jobs, and this popped up, and I applied for it.
Hold
Where
on.
were you selling shoes at JCPenney? What were you
Awesome.
doing?
This guy's the
Hold on.
best. This is why this bit is the best. Is because
Quackenbush.
this guy wins. Abner wins.
Yeah.
So the position opened up activities director at a high school, and then
What
you
were the
applied.
qualifications?
And you're working at Old Navy. You're folding the Star Wars shirts.
Yeah, like what do you know about activities, Quackenbush?
Wow,
It seems like you don't know nothing about activities. You work retail, the worst position in human history. I'm sorry.
I agree with you completely.
And hold on. He also said medium and dumpy, which you have to sprinkle that right on the
Yeah.
top.
So how did you get activities director job with no like I can understand if your background you were like, hey, maybe you cruise director or something like or something. I was some sort of involved in
Hell,
organizing.
secretary, right? Even secretary.
Like,
Yeah,
even
fun,
if you put on a couple of fun runs now and again, right?
Right.
You know, you dabbled in a color run now
Yeah.
and again. You orchestrated.
Tough Mudder.
You know,
You
threw-
work for a charity.
Yeah, or even you, Tom. Even you are more qualified than Abner because
Oh,
you were
yeah,
the king
yeah,
of the
yeah.
bachelor party. This guy has planned more bachelor parties. He
Yeah, yeah.
knows his way around activities.
Yeah, yeah.
Every weekend, remember Fun Fridays with your sons?
Yeah.
I mean, you were born to be an
Or,
activities
I
director.
worked in entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, loosely. Like,
Yeah,
this is loose
how-
entertainment.
So how does what?
Yeah, yeah.
May I ask what type of retail was your retail?
Just like Sam, I used to sling pills.
All
You
right.
worked for
Yeah, you're a drug dealer.
Walgreens. You just worked at
You're
Walgreens.
you're a cashier at Walgreens.
Wait
giving
a
out-
minute. Did we work together? That's where I used to work.
Oh my
No,
God.
I was at the other red place.
Oh, CVS.
Oh,
You're a CVS
yeah.
one.
So,
That's a rival.
Oh.
Yeah, Walgreens.
got paid more than I did.
Walgreens was the corner of happy and healthy, and CVS they don't have an address.
you know, I feel like
No.
Quackenbush is a very nice man, and we're
I like this
we're
guy a
really
lot.
attacking you. I
No, I
apologize,
think we're
Quackenbush.
I think he knows. He knows he's here for a couple body shots because
Yeah,
he knows
yeah.
that's the way we give love.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about the actual job. Now, what does an activities director? Now, by the way, do they have this at all high schools?
I think almost all of them in Central Florida do.
But there's only
yeah,
one Quackenbush.
Yeah.
So-
but there's outside of Central Florida and outside of the state, I'm not really sure.
So let's talk about what your actual job is, because I imagine that there's a set amount of activities that a high school has every year, and once they are in there, then they're basically just like teachers and tenure. They're just in there for life, and you just do and rotate the same activities. Because think about it, like our activities that we did in high school are probably not that much different than the activities they're doing now. As far as there's the standards, right? There's the dances.
It's all the same.
There's the field trips to
In fact, I would
Fort
argue.
DeSoto.
No, I would argue. No,
same BS.
I would argue some of that's been pulled back. You can make an argument. You know, everybody says like, "Oh, kids got
Well,
a good, kids got a
COVID,
good." No, I'm saying that we got more like we got to go on more trips when I was a kid than kids get to go to now. I think.
Oh yeah. Because
I went all over the place. We're going Cancun, Washington D.C. We're flying here, flying there, Key West.
see, in my high school, we didn't do any. I never
we
went.
dude. We were a pioneer art sentiment, and some people were going here, and some people were going there. We're
Now,
we're all over the place.
I was never into activities, but we never went. I never went on one field trip. I didn't go on anything.
We
I
did
never.
band trips. I played a Miami Dolphins halftime show. Like I was all. I did more then than I do now.
The nerds get to do more. When you're
Yeah.
a slacker, F off,
Yep.
you lose out on everything. because
And if you don't travel when you're a kid, then you get no fish fingers.
So, Quackenbush, what are the activities at a high school? Am I right as far as like they're basically been the same for years?
The big ones really are, with the calendar, somebody wants to come in, like a Navy recruiter wants to come in. I check, okay, this day is good for you. A lot of like,
water you out,
Oh my
right?
God, this
to come
is
in.
exactly what Sam does.
Yeah. And so I check, I do stuff like that. I handle student sales before school and during lunch.
Oh.
Student sales.
Parking
Yeah, like
applications,
sometimes
Selling
lunch
kids?
permission.
Where you sell like ribbons, spirit ribbons, and you sell candy to raise money for the uniforms of the cheerleaders, right? Stuff like that.
No, that's the clubs. I sell like the parking passes, student IDs, stuff like that.
Ah, okay, I got you.
And then if they don't return something, they got to pay me for their obligation.
Oh, I know what that means.
Tax man.
So, Quackenbush, I'm trying to figure out how easy this job is because so far,
Well, he's calling us from it. There's clue number one.
because I fantasize about this. So like, I
Wow,
literally
working in a high school, don't say that.
No.
Oh my
Don't
God!
say
Don't
that.
say that.
Don't say that. I don't need you canceled this close to the finish line.
I-
We're almost there,
We're
buddy.
almost to 1,000.
We're almost there. Come on, Sam. Sam's with me.
I fantasize about like
Careful.
like working my way into a job that is kind of like flying. I love flying under the radar.
You say this a lot. but-
Flying.
You hired somebody to fly under the radar.
I know. And so
God. Who would think that your greatest want is your greatest creation?
anytime I'm not being paid attention to or flying under the radar
Oh,
or
it's your
whatever,
favorite.
I love it.
You know what I always
it's kind
think
of
of?
bizarre because this is kind of entertainment.
Tell me
bro.
if you always think you always illuminate some pixels in my brain when you go down this road. There's one job that I think of every single time, 100% of the time, and it was when our friend Andres Brown worked for the government, and he would drive
Orange
a government
County.
truck, and he would park it. Is that what you always think of?
Yeah,
I always think of that
it's,
too.
It's
because
my favorite story
his
and
job-
my favorite
okay,
thing.
Abner, this guy's job was to get in a government truck with government gas on the clock and deliver a check from one building to another building.
Yeah, the whole day, 8 hours.
Yes.
So he had to fill the entire day with BS.
It is a
to make
legendary,
it-
awesome job, and it is so built up in my brain now that every time Tom talks about I want to work you'll say this, you'll be like, I want to work myself in to weasel my way into one of these jobs. I immediately go to this place because I had a text message from Andres when he's like, I will text you back in a couple of hours. I parked my truck under a tree. I'm going to nap. That's an actual text to me.
Well, that was
to
his
me.
daily nap because he had
He had
to
to schedule his nap.
half an
That's
hour.
his
He had
activity.
he had to kill half an hour. There's also he had to balance the books, which he told me was just hitting enter 15 times on the program, like enter and balance. Like it did it itself. It was just some Excel spreadsheet.
It's like when I'm deleting text messages. You're like,
It depreciated county vehicles by a certain equation each day, and all it needed is
needs a
enter.
pair of eyes. It needs a pair of eyes.
Enter. It's balanced.
Because if enter was hit, Tom, remember,
That was it.
if enter was hit,
And then-
somebody looked at it and approved it.
So anyway, Quackenbush, what I'm saying is, how much stress is this job? Is it all basically done already? I mean, do you encounter any sort of last minute, like you said, Navy recruiter? I imagine like Mark Merrow every once in a while gives you a call. He's like, I want to do my dance at the gymnasium. I want to do, you know what I'm saying? You get those presentations.
Butler's in our chat room says, I went from spaghetti warehouse to T&D marketing. Dreams come true.
Is that even the company you work for?
You don't work
funny
for
you
the
say
you don't work
Mark
for the
Merrill.
marketing arm. The marketing arm is in beta and is Tom only. And you certainly don't work for T&D lingerie. That's all mine. All mine.
Sorry, Quackenbush. We're talking all over you. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. It's funny you say Mark Merrill. That was like one of the first events I worked at the school. He did his presentation for the football team. I wish it was not stressful, but it varies all the time. Like
Quackenbush! Where's my goddamn positive pyro?
Exactly.
I want to blow these kids' faces off with positivity.
Do they still do Dare in schools? That's probably for the littles, though, right?
No.
Not in high school.
No, there's been some bad, with everything now. We vet everything now. I found out earlier this year, when you vet everything, you ruin everything.
Do you guys still do the
'Cause everything's
crashed
bad.
cars parked in the front of the school right around prom time?
Nah, they haven't done that for a while.
That's who
They don't do a
everybody's.
whole lot of
My
that.
big
We,
joke, when they would
Gypsy
do
has-
that, my big joke was to walk to the back seat, look in there, and go, still room for fingering.
There's also everybody's
Sorry.
too sensitive. They were like, they'd be traumatized by
Oh,
a
yeah.
crash car, and the
Can't take
parents,
selfies in front of it.
the parents would complain. I remember.
I got that one,
There was,
too.
they used to have crash cars with blood in
Oh,
them.
yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was
Anyway,
terrifying.
I'd throw my chocolate milk at it. And be like,
So, how much organizing is done throughout the year, or are you basically in the first couple weeks of the year you got 90% of it done, and then there may be a couple last minute pieces
almost like
here
a
and there?
comedy tour.
Yeah. Where it's like, all right, we got the staples, we got the the presentation here, the cookie sale here, all the BS, and then it's basically done at the beginning, or is it constantly moving throughout the entire year?
It's constantly moving throughout the whole year. Homecoming week, getting ready for that. That starts right at the beginning of the school year, organizing with the city on parades, permits, and all that stuff. And then it's like after that's over, I feels like I have a couple quiet months, and then it starts
Yes,
picking back
quiet
up with all that
months.
spring stuff.
Yes, quiet months.
Hold on,
That's what I want. I want a
This
couple
is-
quiet
no,
months.
this is
A
when
couple
you
months.
That's what I want.
You gotta rewind.
We don't have a couple quiet hours.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think most people, Quackenbush, I think.
I want this guy's job.
Here's what
I'm coming
happens.
for it,
It sounds
Quackenbush.
pretty
Here-
rad.
here's
And
what-
you'd be really good at it, and the kids would like you.
See, Quackenbush, no matter how easy and non-stressed your job is, you get used to that. So then any sort of minor stress, then it's more, 10 times more than
It put you on tilt.
Yeah.
than what you were used to. So then you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, I'm stressed out." But when you
Well, it's because he's had those couple quiet months he's coming out of.
when you tell me there's a couple quiet months, then that means to
Also,
me
summer's off. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah. Do you have
Quiet
summers off?
Christmas
Quackenbush?
break, spring break, summer's off.
Like a couple quiet months is a phrase a farmer says when his fields have gone barren.
Right. It's
there's
bad,
nothing. There's nothing.
But it's
to
also
do.
he is at risk of his family
Starving, I
starving,
know.
or like not making money. Like Quackenbush still getting a paycheck. It's all the same.
Let's talk about
Do
adolescent.
you hold on, Quackenbush? Do you get the month summer off?
No, I work year round. I'm one of only 5 people on campus that work all year.
Okay, hold on.
Even during
Hold
the
on.
summer,
That
I'm working.
stinks. Now, let's talk about adolescent relations. Do the kids like you? Do you have any interactions with them at all?
This year, not as much, but usually I do with the sales, and we get along pretty good.
Do you use a lot of cool catchphrases? Like, when you see them, do you like, that's some nice drip you got there, Jeremy?
Nah, usually they just say hi to me. I'll say hi back.
Don't mush the bush.
Basically,
New shirt.
You know what they say? Don't mush the bush.
they like me because
Quackenbush
the person before me used to always yell at them, and I don't yell at them.
Okay.
Yes,
What are you doing in my office?
You're not. I'm not a yeller. I'm a soft,
I'm a
quiet
quacker.
bush. I'm a soft, quiet bush. I'll
Yeah,
give you a
I'm a
couple of
quiet
quack
bush.
quacks.
So Quackenbush,
Let me get out the bush paddle.
Who is your actual boss? I never.
Principal?
It's a principal.
Yes, it is the principal. So I'm
Okay.
always the principal's always coming to me with different tasks to do. You know, get with this company, see if they can make a donation. So I'm doing a lot of stuff like that.
ice cream social. I want like a cartoon principal.
Quackenbush.
Yeah.
Now I'm a jaded, miserable person.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
so
Finally, mark
it's
it.
hard.
Mark it, Sam.
So
Mark
you just
that
got to
time.
take that into account. But and apparently talking to my mom and stuff, I was like
yeah.
this for my whole
She
life.
good? Yeah, all right.
No. She tells me, she's like, you didn't want to participate in anything.
out hating everything.
And then I was like, at least I was
so it was
consistent.
nature.
Yeah. And then I see Tommy, I'm like, oh, by the way, someone put rocks in his lunchbox. And I'm mad as hell.
Oh, they're already bullying him?
No, he said he wanted it, but
No, he didn't.
I love the
Oh
rocks.
my
They're my
God.
only friends. I love these rocks.
I got real mad.
One day I'll be a Quackenbush and they'll like me.
I,
I'll tell them about the drip and everything.
So anyway, I forgot my whole point. Now I'm
He
just
only
mad about
saw
the
red.
rocks.
He only saw red.
I just thought about which dad I'm going to beat up because
You
that's going to
said
happen.
you're
I'm going to
mean
jail.
and miserable or whatever.
Oh,
you were saying.
yeah. So when I was when we had any sort of presentation in high school or anything that we had to go to the auditorium to watch, every single thing presented to me I hated.
Oh, I will say I was that way too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was never good, and not one time did anybody around me say, that was cool.
No.
Everybody
Okay,
looked miserable.
We were just glad to be out of class. but
Yes,
that's it.
exactly. But it was always garbage.
I would
Yeah.
love to follow the same category. Normally I do, but the teachers at DeLand High, and shout out to them, I'll give them some kudos because Terrence Trent Darby, his mom and his family, all musicians, they play at lunch sometimes, and they were like a
Play
folk-
at lunch?
Yeah,
You had
and
lunch performers?
It was awesome, and they'd let bands, if you were a punk band,
Oh,
they were
no
cool.
way.
They would let you play as long as you kept it together. You could play. So we had bands like my friends' punk bands play at lunch. It was cool.
Yeah, we didn't
So,
have any of that.
Not all of it was bad, but Quackenbush, do you get to line up any of that stuff? Or they probably don't give you a big leash, though, right?
Yeah, not a very big leash. I
Yeah.
mean, people are always trying to put stuff on, but yeah, it's pretty much now. Anytime we got anything in the auditorium, the kids are on their phone the entire
Oh,
time.
yeah.
They
Why
couldn't
wouldn't you
care
be?
less.
Right.
Why wouldn't you be?
There's
I am. I'm on my phone right now during your interview.
I got to tell you, Quackenbush, there's a little amount of joy I get from you doing an extreme amount of work.
And no one cares.
Only for
Swipe, swipe.
every
The nerds are into it, though, right?
And then you peek out the curtain because you're
Hopefully
like,
a kid will TikTok you peeking it. The best you can hope for now, Quackenbush, is a kid TikToking you peeking out of the curtain and then crying, and then he's like, look at this sad nerd. No one likes his presentation. Put that on my TikTok. World star!
yeah. So, do you ever
Only if they tag me.
do you ever look out, Quackenbush, and then see an auditorium filled with teens that could care less about what's happening, just looking at their phones, realizing that all this is a gigantic waste of time and effort and money, and does that make you sad, or do you not care?
It is what it is. I'm just like you, Tom.
All right, I like that.
That's why I
Just
like
let it
Winner. This guy's got the goods, man. We should put him in the running for, and I just thought of this right now, but once a year, starting now, because I don't think this bit will ever die. I feel like this is going to be the one we
Oh,
ride into
man.
the coffin. We should do a kind of like a Hall of Fame, where we take your
Hall of Shame.
yeah, your greatest and best Weird Job Wednesdays, and we place them almost like a Mount Olympus, right?
Quackenbush, what position in the school system, high school system, like at your high school, would you say would be that quintessential easy job that it's because I feel like you have to immediately eliminate
Hold on, pop quiz. Where are you
all
right
teachers.
now? Where are you right
Yeah.
now?
I'm in my office with the door closed.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
See, because anybody who deals with students, that's hard as hell. Like, I don't know, I couldn't do it.
Office assistant.
And then there's office assistant, but the problem is sometimes being the assistant.
Lunch lady.
maybe lunch. I
That's-
don't know,
I
but
think
then
that's hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
think that's a hard job.
You're like it's kind of like working inside of like an industry.
It's also thankless because no matter what those ladies cook, everybody says it stinks, which is not fair.
Yeah.
No.
And
You know what I mean? It's like when Crystal used to work in the moving industry. I used to like that job rattled me
Everybody's-
because
yeah.
there was no way for her to ever do good. It's only bad.
Yeah. Like you're not getting great feedback from the kids.
Like mostly
Yeah.
mechanics. It's only bad.
Yeah.
Like when's the last time people? Oh, I love my mechanic.
So, what would you say, Quackenbush, is that best job to have in a high school? Is it your job?
Probably for some. It depends on the person, really. For me, I like it a lot. So out of any of the other office jobs, this would be the one I'd want.
Can you?
I wouldn't want a principal's secretary because you're dealing with all the parents calling in whenever they're pissed off.
Yeah.
Have you ever planned something that went horribly awry?
Yeah. We switched from paper voting to online voting, and that did not go.
Voting for
as
what?
planned the first
What
time.
they stormed the auditorium? Yelling. I'm sorry.
For what, prom king and
Yeah,
queen? What was the voting for?
I got my boots up on Quackenbush's desk. Steals mail.
I got Quackenbush's laptop. I done sold it to Russia.
I'm sorry. You opened yourself up, Bush. You left your bush wide open. I'm sorry. We just want to laugh, right? Isn't that all we want to do now? Is just want to laugh.
Yeah, so what happened with the online voting? They all voted for
Like
the
the
worst.
frisbee dog.
Yeah.
Nah, just the information was posted wrong. We had to stop it real quick and tell them how to log on properly. That was all. But it was just in the mix of things that moment. It's just craziness.
Quackenbush, have you ever had any inter-school drama with like teachers having some sort of inappropriate relationship with the
wow.
students?
You want that grit.
Well, I remember growing up that it was
It happened at every school.
like it happened and it was like almost open
Yeah,
to the point where like, and then no one ever got arrested or anything moved forward. Like it was just like
People look the other way.
Okay.
It's terrible.
I have a
That was
theory.
the 90s. It wasn't
I
that.
know.
I have a theory.
Wow.
I'll disconnect Quackenbush.
25
I don't want him. He's not like I'm not talking about anything that he does. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But in that show, the Canadian show, and with an E that I'm watching is back from the 1800s. In there have always been these weird male teacher, female student relationships. I almost feel like that relationship has been taken advantage of, and that is like that will be voted as number one predatory.
Yeah.
Like almost we turned a blind eye as education kind of made its way through time because it's even in that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and it's like, and
always
we've
happened,
always
though.
just kind of
Gross.
looked at it like it's not a big deal, you know, which is weird.
Nothing,
Anyway.
anything like that, Bush?
And about the 8 years that I've been there, no, nothing like that has come up.
That means it's
That
you.
means it's happening,
No.
but the kids are keeping it on the down low.
I thought it's hard
Pretty much.
nowadays.
They're good at that.
So Quackenbush, what do you make? Activities director, high school, been there how many years?
8 years.
8 years. What are we talking?
About 8 years. 35,000.
Oh.
But a
Oh.
couple quiet months, I don't know.
got real. That's the
Listen,
realness.
you gotta love your job, Quackenbush.
Yeah.
Does your old lady make any money? What is she? Does she bring in some cash here?
She's a teacher. She makes more than me, though.
Ah.
But it's a harder job.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You guys
way
are
harder.
some tough mothers, man.
She
Jeez Louise.
does all those special AP classes.
No,
so.
seriously, I got nothing but love for double school system people. Jeez Louise,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
I hope that
And thankless.
you get enjoyment and you get some couple quiet
Well,
months.
he's the
that,
guys we need, right? He
Yeah.
should get 3 quiet months.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
goddamn,
yeah.
he and his wife
Yeah,
are
yeah.
dedicated to our kids. So,
Right.
geez Louise.
Yeah. Don't ever say Jesus please again. You know what? You know what? I'm mad at you, Bush, and Sam.
What I do?
All right. Quackenbush,
You
thank you
win.
very much.
Yeah,
you win.
You win.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, be good.
That
Back
was
to
a
work.
lie. I'll probably never talk to you again. Like, I mean,
I mean,
I
like,
can't imagine a scenario.
we say
right?
that, though. I always like, be good,
Maybe
be safe
an
out
event.
there, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. And no.
I don't know how to end it.
No, I don't hopefully
Just
talk
say
to you soon.
bye-bye. It's your fave.
Well, I know, but that's
We're
how
done with you now.
Yeah.
You served your purpose on the show.
You know,
Good day.
I used to
You-
wonder why the old '90s radio they just hang up on the person. I always
It's
thought
a
that was-
better way.
I always
You
thought
like
that was
it now.
weird, but now,
He used to get mad. He's like, that guy had more to say.
Oh, my sleeves are smaller today.
What happened?
That
It got
guy-
swole.
They're getting shorter.
That guy had at least 3 more good ideas.
All right, bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
We got some time for voicemails, and let's jump into it.
All right.
Do you remember talking about our love for, I think, like almost show love? It's not excluded just to the fellas, but of the bikini establishments, bikini car washes, bikini bars. I think we mentioned a bikini taco place.
Yeah.
Oh, there was it. There's the whole thing. Okay, well, good job, Dan. That's why you screen things. Let's try this one.
Uh-oh.
Okay. That's why you screen things.
It's happening.
No, here we go.
Hey, Tom and Dan, it's Justine. Tom, on the Friday Free Show, you had mentioned that you're into watching survival YouTube videos. And probably about a year, maybe 2 years ago, I stumbled upon this, I think she's Chinese girl. I say girl, she's probably in her early to mid 20s then. I don't know what she is now.
Does this go back to the bikini? This ties in almost to the
I think
bikini
this
video.
is the
Or not
underground
bikini.
cave lady that built the tub, right?
Yeah, and then your wife was convinced that the camera crew had, much against her wishes,
Forced her to get nude.
asked her to, and I don't even think she was nude, but asked her to disrobe and then make it appear that she was actually taking a mud bath in her own kind of.
Yeah.
Her eyes seemed like she was in misery, but we could have just been.
But then it becomes like a weird.
She's tired. She just built a mud tub.
But
She
then it
looked
becomes a conspiracy theory type deal where
Yeah.
you can read the words "help me" in her eyelashes
Right.
and stuff. Yeah, and then it's like
Yeah,
it's like
ties in there.
spiraling out of control.
Anyways, and she does like these gorgeous, beautiful, and I bet you if you were super tooted and were just sitting in your hot tub enjoying it, it'd probably be nice. Gorgeously filmed, and she just makes things by hand. Like she goes out with old Chinese like tools and cuts down stuff, and then she'll make her own makeup, which I know is probably not your thing, but then she makes like just all this sort of stuff. I'm going to try to find it and email it to you. I think you would love it. Even though it's a girl, I don't think that would bother you, but I think that you would just adore it, and adore is probably not the right word. All right, anyways, I'm rambling. I love you guys. Bye.
We love you too, Justine. You've been with us
So-
for a very, very long time.
I just quickly Googled to see if I could find something. And if it is who I think it is, she goes by the name Seven Plums on YouTube.
Seven Plums. Oh my God.
Where it features a Chinese woman calmly, confidently creating everything she needs basically from scratch.
Yeah, I think that's
Using
her.
primitive technology.
You want me to pull up some Seven Plums?
Yeah, let's pull up Seven Plums. Let's watch it. I'll determine whether this is going to be entertainment that I'm interested in.
All right,
Because
let's
a lot
go
of this
in on the old Seven Plums.
Here's the thing. A lot of this to me is I get fascinated about the people doing it. Like, okay, follow me here. Like I was watching, it's not even about the survival aspect of it, because a lot of these things are absurd. Like the guy, he's towing his homemade little shack out to the middle of nowhere and seeing if he could sleep overnight in negative 13 degree temperatures using his little heater that he made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I'm watching him film himself do all this, an incredible amount of work, because he's going and he's setting up cameras and then setting up the shots, and then he'll drive a snowmobile, and then I realize I have to go back and pick up the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff. And then so I'm watching that, and I'm just like, man, such an incredible amount of work and all this stuff for this entertainment that he's doing. Who is this guy? Like, what? Does he got a wife or family? Like I start thinking, like, who is this guy? Just some loner that's on the spectrum? So he's like obsessed with like figuring out how to survive in situations, even though he doesn't need to really, because
He's providing content and entertainment.
Yeah. So, and then I'm like, I'm more fascinated with the person. So, with the old Seven Plums, I think if this person seems like she's got some sort of backstory I could start writing in my head, that's interesting. Like the actual stuff they're making, like Yeah, she's mushing some blueberries into some sort of makeup, some homemade makeup. Is like.
This is
All right, sorry.
her doing like a.
Oh, she's making Chinese New Year's decorations.
She also happens to be like strikingly like
Oh yeah.
cartoon beautiful.
Yeah.
So it helps too, that. I wish that was my life, just painting on some paper.
It looks so calm.
I'm painting like let's if you're not looking at this, you can be twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or our YouTube replays are all on Tom and Dan Live on the old YouTubes. Let's just analyze what's going on here. She has her brushes out. She seems to be sitting outside. The weather looks impeccably gorgeous. She has on what appears to be a handmade bear hat that maybe she made. She's just got her inks out there, and she's just enjoying the day.
Beautiful breeze.
Just hearing the lovely music playing, and she's just putting the ink on. Yep.
Is that white makeup that she's got on
No,
her
I
face,
think
or
that's
is that
just
her complexion?
Beautiful porcelain skin.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that is a thing, right?
Like she's doing some traditional stamping. Yeah, I think that
I don't
she's
know.
got makeup on, but I believe that's mostly her. Wow, nice looking stamp she did there.
All right, so she's making some stamps. I don't like it.
Okay,
because
all right. He weighed in on it. He tried it. He hates it.
Yeah, well, because I not interested in decoration.
Well, she does other stuff too.
Yeah. If she was doing some sort of
Like riding a dirt bike.
no. Like I'm more interested in like utility, like coming up with stuff that like it's a far-fetched, but like, hey, this is a way to build a ridiculous structure, or this is, I'm more interested in that. The decoration part, like, hey, this is how to make a beautiful decoration for a party, very cheap, and it looks creative. Like, it just doesn't. The value to me is decoration value is very low in my mind.
You got a lot of people in our Twitch chat room saying you shouldn't yuck on people's yums, that you should give this a try.
No, I'm just saying.
I thought you were pretty respectful.
I don't like it.
Not your thing.
Like, just like, watching some nerd talk about gambling numbers would be literally excruciating for Sam.
Right,
or a lot of people,
right.
they'd be like,
yeah, no, that's fair.
Yes. And in fact, I know you should hate it. It's horrible if you're not interested in that.
Yeah, Juan tagged you, and I was hoping, I thought of this even before he tagged you, or not tagged you, but mentioned it in our Twitch chat room. Juan tagged you in a video last night on social media that has this nerd who's playing like this tappy video game, almost like a Guitar Hero.
I saw that. I was gonna yell at him.
But like I was amazed. Like I honestly was amazed at that. Like it didn't seem real. And it was he was beating his high score because I guess he had the high score for 5 years. Then 5 years later, nobody had beaten it. So then he came back and he beat his own high score.
Okay, so
I think I got that right.
All these types of videos fall into the same category, and I put in the category of the Rubik's Cube speed guys and the Guitar Hero guys.
Yeah.
And anytime that someone can...
It's an insane, non-practical hand movement.
Do some sort... Or like the cup stacking people, or like all the stuff where it doesn't even compute in my head how they're pulling it off. It then becomes all the same because it's like one impossible activity that I can never learn to do in my mind, and therefore is...
What happened? You could learn to do anything in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. He's abandoned that whole book he was writing.
Like playing piano, I put that in the same category as like singing, playing piano, things like that can take an insane amount of some sort of natural...
talent.
You have to master that.
You
know what's weird about this, though? I put it in a one-off category. Like this guy that was doing let's just say Guitar Hero for the sake of the viewers or the listeners.
Okay.
So he's doing this tippy-tappy thing trying to beat his high score. To me, I see very few instances where that level of game dedication and dexterity benefits you in the actual guitar or in the piano world. So like this kid, he tippy-taps the best. He is the best at this video game.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of him going on to be the fastest and best pianist in the world is next to zero for some weird reason.
Well, it doesn't translate.
But you want to think that, right?
So.
You want to think that, this guy's could use that skill, and maybe he could funnel that in. If he could only get 1% of that into his piano, he'd be amazing, right? But it just doesn't. I don't think it works like that.
Maybe he just wants to be in like the Guinness Book of World Records.
Maybe he just really likes the game. I think it's cool. I just don't know what you'd what is it?
Well, also the entertainment.
It's a record.
Yeah, but it seems bigger than that, right? To
No.
me, it does. It's really impressive. I don't know. I just think it's really
the
impressive. I feel like
entertain-
you should be able to do something more with it.
It's nothing. It's garbage.
I know, but
it's nothing.
my argument is I hate that.
It's like
because,
Pokemon.
I'm
Well, it's
seeing,
the same thing of jumping gravedigger. It's breaking a record.
No, but
doing
it's so-
something a lot of other people haven't
right,
done.
but it's something. The jumping gravedigger. I'm not to take
That's
anything away
garbage
from
too,
that.
by the
yeah,
way.
that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing then.
No, it's not the same thing because I can throw any fact. I put Norm on a motorcycle and ride him off a ramp. He'll die, but I can do it. This guy, it's got a level
it's not
of
successful.
muscle skill to it. I just wish
Yeah.
that they're
And
like,
also
oh,
practice. He's
yeah.
obviously been doing this for an insane amount of time, so you have to appreciate the amount of dedication someone put. And that's a lot with a lot of these things. Like, we're in a society now. We only see the end, and we're starting to. Have you seen a
No,
lot?
Norm says get the motorcycle. He's game. I mean, hey, if we're gonna start jumping things again, I'm all for it, just not you.
And I've seen a lot more where they're including all the times that the person's failed before they accomplished. We must have started to regress back because for a while we only
We
wanted
pulled the curtain back.
Well, we
Yeah.
only wanted to see the best trick in every category, but we wanted to see just the clip of that trick. So like quadruple backflip, a crazy insane flip onto a tiny pole, and like we just wanted to see a compilation of some tricks that took these people years to master, and now it seems like they're starting to show
Well,
like
fail army became a thing that became popular, so I think maybe that has something to do with it.
and I think we must
We put the math together like, hey, nobody does that the first time.
And we wanted to see like a person fail a bunch of times and then finally make it, and that has now become the new thing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's right.
It's crazy that now we're exposed to literally every single thing we could possibly want, and we're letting reality flesh out what entertainment is gonna stick, and it's bizarre. It's all bizarre.
It is extremely bizarre. Ding dong.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are here, and welcome to the show, everybody.
If you want to subscribe to become a BDM, or maybe you were a BDM, just check your status. Because may have, you change cards or whatever. You may not be a BDM anymore. You may not know.
Completely possible.
We sent some emails out to former BDMs just to, say like, hey, if you want to come back, here's some reasons. And some reasons that we've thought of is Samantha and I were talking about on Twitch during the break is all the subgroups that we have are super popular. A parenting group, an anxiety group, a gambling group, a geeks and gamers group, a plant group.
There's a fitnessman group, car group, cigar group, whiskeyman group.
Craft beer enthusiast group. There's every group you could possibly think of.
Cheat on your wife group.
That are subgroups. It
like
gets into
Ashley Madison.
Yeah. Listen, it gets
type vibe. Yeah, you can be as mild or as wild as you want to mix it. It's just like Carol Shelby's chili.
And what's cool is most BDMs are local and maybe like-minded. Outdoorsman group. I know
they don't let me in that one.
That
they said I'm more the indoor type.
Yeah.
That was you who said that, actually.
Yeah. I ban you from that because, it's although I talk a big game, but I don't think I have. Well, if I was forced to like kill a deer.
Okay, let me throw something at you.
Snowflake.
Let me throw something at you that ties in perfectly to the BDM Outdoorsman group. The weather this weekend is going to be kind of poo-poo stanko, right? This is the weekend. We're starting the Friday show. We're easing into it. You have a birthday, I believe, around the bend.
Monday.
On Monday, you'll turn 43 years old.
How dare you?
You don't look a day over 50.
Spry 39. Still in my 30s.
Long gray,
barely hanging on.
Long gray sideburns like the oldest rabbi in Orlando.
I am in Samantha's genre of decades or whatever.
Sure. Genre. Yeah, that works. Yeah, whatever.
I'm in her class.
Genre of decades.
So I want to do an adventure this weekend, and I don't know what to do because the weather's going to be bad. And then I suggested tent camping one night with my daughter, and my wife said, you can do it, but it's just you and her.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I know you're going to try to talk me out of it, but I am tempted. I'm very tempted to attempt a one-night camporama with Maisie D.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, if you go there and you park your car.
Tracy's saying glamping. Nope, I can't. I don't have the money for doing it. Look, everything I've tried to do right now because it's President's Day is way too expensive, and I waited to the last minute.
Yeah. Well, good luck getting a site because that's a problem there too.
I have a line on where I have a place I can go.
Okay, if you were gonna go and tent camp, you got your car, you set up the campsite, whatever. The only problem is the weather. You start getting into rain and cold, then it gets horrible tent camping.
Could be horrible,
but
especially if inside the tent gets wet.
If your car is there, then you always have the opportunity to just get in your car and then leave your tent, everything, and just drive home.
Okay.
Because I would do that.
This is why I asked you. Oh, I would do that too. Especially if I'm fighting with my daughter.
I all the time because I'm constantly looking for some sort of memorable adventure with my sons.
I think you've kind of I believe that you have influenced me into thinking that I'm not giving Andrea and Maisie enough adventure.
Well, but I also battle with, am I making up some fantasy? Because this happens, and I know that it happens to other people because I see it portrayed in movies and television, right? And I see
that's reality.
But it's become a stereotype.
It
is
means
what he means.
that, and this is why I think it's a reality, because I think the only reason they're portraying that is because they know other people can relate to it, and therefore the writers wrote that in. That's my rationale when I see it in a movie, because a lot of times I think I'm insane, and the way I think is crazy because I talk to my wife, she calls me crazy. Talk to you guys, that's it. And then I
don't
like,
call
maybe
you crazy because I don't want you to call me crazy, but I think we're both technically a little crazy.
So anyway, I don't know. So when I see it in a movie,
You're
then
like, I'm
right. Like, oh, there's a reason why they're portraying this, because it must be a thing.
Okay.
And so and the thing I'm talking about
I agree with you.
Is the dad. And I got this
setting expectations too high.
Remember, there's a Will Ferrell movie with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and it's based off this is a Swiss movie,
Swiss Family Robinson,
or a Swedish movie about this family that goes snow skiing and experience an avalanche, and then they redid it. And the American version had Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Downhill. And in that movie,
I've never seen that. Never heard of it.
This dad is trying to have these ridiculous adventures with his family, or there's a couple, like he wants to get in a helicopter and then have the helicopter fly, and then his family jump out and ski down. Like he's setting up these things, and then he keeps setting himself up for failure. Yeah. All they want to do,
because experiencing life, people say, is the greatest gift you can give anyone, right?
Well, and then what he doesn't realize, and his fault, is that he doesn't have to do these grandiose adventures. His family just wants to spend time with him. He's trying to he has this fantasy of flying in a helicopter, getting out, his whole family skiing down and being all, but his family's not even that interested in skiing. He can't see that. All he can see is the fantasy.
And you think you're that guy?
No, yes, but also
all right. Okay.
There's a version somewhere. There's a version of that I do.
Like there's a version of that. I do that all the time.
I rent the snowmobile. I get the whitewater raft. They don't even want to do this.
Like
garbage.
when I had Maisie pampered for the day as a princess, and she hated every second of it.
Yeah. No. And this is
like seriously, she wanted to do it, but on her own terms. And the problem that I had is I didn't ask. I just did it. It didn't matter what she wanted. To me, I already knew what she wanted, and that's where I failed immensely. She still talks about it too. Man, I really missed the mark on that one.
I don't want to get too far.
That one hurts. That one hurts, Sam. That stinks.
I don't want to get too far away from the tent camping discussion.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we can always come back to it because
this all plays into it.
Well, I'm leaning to not do it if you just want to know the answer. But I feel like when I lean to not do it, I should do it, right?
Yes, and then this is all going to come back to you should do it, but I'll explain.
Okay. That's what I'm asking.
This is how I think. So then I'm thinking, it must be a thing where dads have these ridiculous fantasies they want to play out with their families, and they try too hard, and they're not looking at their family's personality, what's good for them.
Yes.
It's kind of selfish, whereas this is my fantasy, and I want you guys
force them into fun,
to fall all into it, and that's selfish because my fantasy. Like, so, like, but in my fantasy, we're all having fun. But that's the fantasy that I'm getting wrong is because they don't want to do this. This is what I want. I'm thinking anyway. So I think about camping, and I think all the time I'm just gonna drive out, and even if Crystal actually wants to do this, but she's like, let's go out and tent camp. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but it'll be an adventure, better for all of us, or whatever.
That is a part of me. Yeah.
And so then I'm like, okay, but I start thinking about the reality of the tent and the fights, and then my sons are like, I want to play, Minecraft, or like this is boring or whatever, even though they maybe I'm fantasizing the opposite and negatively fantasizing it because maybe they won't do that. They'll just be happy to be there.
Well, but it's sometimes even just the anticipation of feeling that they're going to say that
but I'm
is all you need.
After driving to a place, like say you go up to Blue Springs, you set up your campsite.
This is exactly the scenario, so we're on the same page.
And then you set up your
crazy. I don't want to do anything crazy in it one night.
Now, by the way, our kids are too young to really help us do anything, so
it'll just get in the way, man.
Yeah, it'll basically be you setting up the entire tent and getting the firewood ready and getting like
the one thing that Maisie can do is carry stuff.
Yeah,
like
gather sticks.
She can carry stuff, but that's about it. There's really nothing there.
Kids get bored pretty quickly. Like they'll pick up a couple sticks for firewood, but they ain't doing the 35 runs back and forth because they get bored quick. So then you feel the need to entertain them, or you say entertain yourself, which they've lost all concept of doing because of screens. Because that's what we've done as a society.
Have no skills.
You used to be forced to entertain yourself, and now we have screens.
They can't be bored.
Yeah, and
not allowed.
And here's the thing: I don't think there's any way to fix that because we do
just keep taking them camping.
Yeah, that's true. You would have to make camping as popular, or as
no screens.
Yeah, you'd have to camp as much as you use screens, and that's not possible. So you are correct.
Right.
And also, is camping even that good for them?
Right.
Bad for their bones.
Well, no. The only reason Maisie wants to do it is she has a little camp. She has a little tent for her American Girl dolls, and she's like, "They do it outside. This isn't outside." I was like, "Well, we can do it outside. I mean, we can if that's what you want to do. I am your daddy, and I will do that." But I do exactly what you're talking about. I do this mind dance where I'm like, is this even something I should be doing?
You should ask them. Ask them if they really want to go camping. I think maybe Maisie might want to just because of the American dolls. But your boys, if you ask them, well, they'll probably say yes to make you happy. But they don't really want to go camping.
No, they do because they want s'mores. And they're not thinking about anything beyond that. Right?
Okay. Clever lads.
What if you say, do you want to go camping if there are no s'mores?
That's an accurate question, right? And if they say no,
then you know that they don't really want to. And then you can just do s'mores in the backyard.
Yeah, then you understand that then you could just do chimney s'mores, which is not that bad.
But it's not even about then. Listen, this is a constant battle because I battle back and forth. Like, who cares what they want? Just do it, and then they'll learn and be better by doing something, even if it's bad for them. Obviously, it'll be better if it's rough on them. Because
I got to grid again.
Well, here's the deal.
But it's true.
I have to decide. I'm deciding with Andrea now. You'll know by the time that this Friday ACT is done and gone, you'll know whether or not I went camping on the weekend. But I'm leaning towards it.
Yeah, and then I always go back to we're all gonna die soon. Our kids are gonna be grown. You just got to do it.
All right, last question
because you will be rocketed to the future, and you'll look back and you said and you'll wish you would have done every GD thing that you decided not to so just do everything.
Yeah, not
spend
all
your money.
The show down, but would you guys I'm going to ask you a question, and just don't make it sad. But I'm going to ask you guys a question. Can you believe that we've been almost wearing masks for a year? And that in between that little bit of time, I lost my mom. In that little, how fast is that, y'all?
Yeah.
Cacao!
Yeah. No, it's
so fast.
I mean, I look at
how much has changed in just.
My sons have been the ultimate hourglass in life because I'm watching them change by every 6 months into different humans, older humans, and it's freaking me out, and it's causing me an insane time anxiety.
It gives anxiety.
Where every day
Worst
I'm
thing
like,
ever for me.
I'm wasting it. I'm wasting it. Got to do it. Got to spend.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Midlife crisis.
Yeah, team no kid.
It's not even a midlife because
I don't even
Quarter life.
I don't even have the strength to write the hashtag in the chat room.
it doesn't matter how old I am or the inevitability of my own death. It matters about the time I'm spending with them at this age, and I keep freaking myself out because I'm like, a year will have passed, and then they'll be older and different, and it'll be different, and this is like I have to utilize my time now more. Like that's it. And it's ridiculous because, like, what does that mean?
Well,
I know it's
a smart move. It's a smart play. You have the highest level of influence now. You're the boss, so play your cards now. Because when they do get older, and making their own decisions, I mean, you obviously have set them up, and hopefully you've set them up in a place where all of their decisions you're gonna, back them. And I think you're doing that correctly. So yeah, I'm not helping you at all, but yes, you are running out of time because you're also doing.
We're all running out of time.
Well, but follow me here. The better job. Okay, I almost cursed. This is the SE part. I'm just going to say it that way. This is the SE part, I think, of being a parent. And we've never talked about this. You're doing a great job, and you have wonderful boys. In fact, my daughter says your boys are the only boys she likes being around. With that, the better job you do, the quicker it goes because they become
self-sufficient.
Yeah. So it's almost the better job you do, the faster it goes. But you're supposed to do a great job.
Because you're preparing them
because
to be an
you're
adult.
not raising kids, you're raising adults.
Right.
Michelle Obama. I believe she said that. I think that's a Michelle Obama quote.
Yeah.
Which I think was her mother that told
yeah,
her, right?
but I like it because you're right.
Guy.
You're raising them to be. It's like why I like teaching Maisie to cook because there is a part of me. I think it's evolutional in my brain that says at least she can feed herself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
listen, I'm not teaching them to be self-sufficient. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
They
but
can't
you're
even cut their own grapes.
Yeah, I'm doing a horrible job of
either.
teaching them to be self-sufficient. But it does. It's scary.
Tom's not self-sufficient.
Yeah. I couldn't even do it.
Look how sad I got.
No, I know.
Oh man, it's supposed to be Fun Friday.
I know. It's Fun Friday. It's the first segment.
Woo.
Listen. Anyway, take your daughter camping. That's because
right.
you're never like.
We talked
I'm
it out.
excited to hear
you
about
can
it.
do it next week. Just do it, and whatever.
Although the weather.
Now, well, hold on.
It's gonna be horrible.
I
I will
rainy
tell
and
you.
cold.
Anything we do, it's gonna be horrible. That's my new motto. I'm gonna do it knowing that it's gonna be horrible. Like I know it already. So if you go into it, like if any good things happen, you're like, oh, good. Like never go into anything with your crazy fantasy that it's gonna be this magical adventure you painted in your head.
We'll leave with this. The ghost of Minute Bull in our Twitch chat room. He says Tom has time anxiety hair going on right now. Yeah, we frazzled you so much during that segment that you have smooshed your hair back down.
I know. I need a haircut.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll reset and a ding dong.
Welcome to your OG show of the week.
Yes, show number 390, 2 hours of buttholes, all the way back from October 28th of 2016. Yeah, this one's called 2 Hours of Beeholes. On today's show, Tom's Ultimate Stress. That hasn't changed.
Uh-oh.
Ultimate stress all the time, right?
Yeah. This is right before the great...
Keeping track of it. It's like, whoa, that's too many years strung together.
Well, this is right before the great money problems, right? We had just moved into here.
We've had a few.
No, the one where we just moved into here, and then the shit hit the fan.
No, I don't think
the studio got a new runner rug.
What was the date on it?
October 2016.
28th of 20. It's right before Halloween.
2016.
So no, that wouldn't have been when
we'd been in this here studio. Well, at least a year, right? Or when did we? I don't know.
It was 2016, I thought, right? When we moved in here.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, beginning of 2016.
So we leased it 2015, and then we got, or was it?
So that was going to be.
Before? I think it was 14.
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Dan shot chemicals up his nose. Tom thinks he's allergic to weed. Boy, that changed too.
Oh yeah, definitely not allergic.
That changed.
This just in.
SBK calls in because we were talking to Kevin about kidney for Kevin, and then on this day in Tom and Dan history, October 28th, Gapetoberfest and the quest for Miss Butt Slut.
Yes.
That's, Gape.
It's a different
cabin
time.
boy.
You can't say the word slut.
No,
anymore.
you can if it's a compliment.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, butt
Yeah.
slut.
You can be like,
Okay.
you are the hottest butt slut I've ever seen. She'd be like,
Just for the
"Thank you."
rhyming.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can't be like, I will not do business with you, Mrs. Butt Slut. Good day.
So
To be a judge at Gapetoberfest with world renown. At this point, he is a realtor. He is a mogul.
He's more than that. Yeah.
You can
So-
call him J-Mo
he's
J-Mo,
a business owner.
and call and ask for the
mortgage broker.
butt slut discount.
No, I don't think he does that. I think he's some sort of big time something.
Yeah,
I don't know
I have no idea.
I don't know the real estate
I don't
injury. God damn it.
I don't know this real estate industry.
Your wife's a realtor.
Yeah, but he thinks she's in.
Yeah, I don't know
all
what
the time.
what Cabin Boy does is
The
something.
barbaric team he thinks is a new expansion NFL team.
Oh man.
So he, by the way, he's like, don't talk, please stop
Yeah,
talking about
he
it.
does, and
I didn't want to do it. I did it for a buddy of mine who said that there was a charity involved for him. Like he reluctantly did this thing, and now we won't stop talking about it for the end of time. And now even me saying this, it makes me want to talk about it.
What, Gapetoberfest and Miss Butt Slut? It's hard to say Miss Butt Slut, Miss Butt Slut, Miss Butt Slut. Big Tim calls in to talk about his hot dog stand. You get all the hits on this show.
Wow.
Do you remember the controversy with Big Tim's hot dog cart?
Yeah. We can talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. It's been long enough, the statute of limitation. I believe legally we won that case.
So
We tried to,
back when we were working
we're big hot dog.
with Red Cypress Brewery, we were doing a beer release, and then I think it was the second one, maybe something like that.
It was
the first
lazy
time.
and crazy, I want to say.
So that was our second. So we're doing this beer release. Obviously, a tremendous amount of people show up for these things, and we appreciate that. If any of you that are listening showed up.
Oh, well, now you thank him. 5
but-
years later.
So
Closed up shop.
Big Tim, he had sent me a text or
Hey, baby.
something. He's like, "Hey, can I bring my hot dog cart down?" And
Yeah,
then,
he did.
And I'll be honest, okay?
And we're okay with everything for the most part.
Yeah. It depends. I don't care where Big Tim brings his hot dog cart. If it
I
can
don't
help
think
him,
I
I
don't
don't.
think he has it
Like
anymore.
if we're doing,
No, he still has. He's just not using it.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
in
man.
storage, I think.
I want Big Tim to succeed. I want him to make money.
Yeah.
I don't care. And
We
then
don't try to
also,
cause messes. We just cause messes.
I understand that the listeners like Big Tim, and I
Yeah.
like Big Tim. And
He's a lovable character.
And if his hot dog cart is out there, and people are like, Big Tim hot
Yeah,
dog, and then it
get
gives
a
them
hot dog,
It's
yeah.
it adds to
It
the
adds
whole
to the
thing.
experience,
And
absolutely.
Part of our team.
So
Yes.
I'm always the rule is if it's
We're
it's a win,
always cart before the horse type of guys.
like how is this not a win-win for everybody, right? So it's like it seems like a win-win for everybody. Now the problem,
But business brain, Tom,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
think
yeah.
about
Yeah.
what this could mean.
exactly, because I'm talking to the owners of these companies, and
There's
you
also
know,
permits that people need to get.
and then
well, permits, that's the last thing I worry about.
And you're talking about, we run our company a little bit looser than the most traditional companies, saying we're willing, because it's not a joke, but our content is basically coincides with the running of this company too. And if you're
there's a vein of truth that runs through the whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that's
and
connected,
and there's some
you can never say it's not real because it is real.
and it can't live apart. This is what I've struggled with a long time, where I keep beating myself up because I'm like, man, like I see these other business owners and these people running their companies cutthroat and very meticulous, and like
We're not that type of company.
Yeah, exactly. Which like we can't run our company like X whatever. They're
No.
this company. It's all about numbers and
because
hardcore.
at the end of the day, you're also selling your own personality, and your own
Yeah,
personality
yeah.
is used in making the decisions of the company, so it can never be not attached.
Yeah, it's all attached.
I
It's
agree
all
with it.
one big blob of this moving forward. And so
Not
the company.
hashtag Big Tim. Oh, one big blob of hot dogs.
Anyway, so
He's lost a lot of weight, man.
Big Tim. He have a different cell phone number? Or
He does have a different cell phone
Okay,
number.
because I thought he was
I'm
angry
not
at me.
he went through a period, I believe, at the beginning of COVID. I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think he wanted to talk to anybody.
Right.
And that's his right. But he does have a new number, and no, I will not give it to anyone.
Okay. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
just
texted
reach
him. I was
on
like,
Facebook.
because I was like, hey, you should pop back in the show.
I'll give it to you, but I'm just saying, like, I've had listeners reach out, and I
Right.
think one of the problems was Tim needed to take a break and step back, and y'all motherfuckers won't leave him alone.
I know.
God
Everybody
damn.
doubled
Like,
down.
yeah, guys like, he's like, I'm having a moment, baby. And then everybody's like, well, fuck you, baby.
What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's
I
wrong?
need you to, baby. I'm selfish, fuck.
Yeah.
Let him breathe, for Christ's sake. He's got things he's dealing with.
We need to get him back on the show.
Oh, we will. There's no problem.
He's got his,
There's
he's got
a
absolutely no problem.
podcast
He's
and-
TikTok crazy.
With another
listen.
couple BDs.
Shout out to his podcast. Give it a listen. Radicalizing Rednecks. It's good. It's very, very good. And if you like batting around politics and whatnot, there's your forum, because we try not to do it here.
So anyway, going along with the theme of I'm constantly worried about other professional business owners looking at me like we're fucking a bunch of yokels of, you know, like, and, you know, I did, but, and also there's my background and, you know, the lots of things that I'm constantly worried about, like us being some sort of Bush League shit show in people's minds, and so I
That's a great name for a show.
Which I don't think they even give a shit. I think this
No,
is
that
my
is
own
actually
thing.
a great name for a show. The Bush League Shit Show.
So when Big Tim asked me, "Can I bring my hot dog cart down, baby?" I told him, "Not this one, Tim," because I was worried about asking the former owner of Red Cypress, like, "Hey, I got this. He's gonna bring his hot dog cart and set it up, and
I got some rough around the edges hot dogs that need a parking spot."
And then, and then I have. If he's gonna ask me, like, does he have a permit or what is the? I have no idea.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, also they
almost says what?
they
If you now if Ryan from Red Cypress Brewery has had, and I'll try to do this as Ryan.
If someone asks me any business question that I know they got me,
let's start doing that. I'm
they're
okay with
sticking
that.
it to me. I'm gonna give you the old homos.
I'm okay with that. I think most of our
And
gay
it's
friends.
not-
I think most
yes.
of our gay friends support that as well. If Ryan from Red Cypress had asked you, "Sorry, you got food coming? Like, what's this about a hot dog cart?" You just go, "How much is what?" And then just lead in, and then he's like, "What?" And you're like, "Well, no." Just walk away.
So this is why.
This is why.
This is why the reputation.
This is why.
Anyway, so I said no.
Oh man, give him the homo says what, Tom?
And then
also they did have it set up with another food truck.
Oh, yeah,
so it's
yeah, yeah,
impeding
yeah.
on their food truck
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
There's a lot that goes
there was
into
another reason.
it.
Like he
That
had
was
a,
like, what was it, Daydream?
Yeah.
yeah, he had a
Are they
partnership.
still in business or
I
no?
do not believe
I don't think
so.
they are either.
He had a partnership with Daydream, and then they already had like a
I
deal.
see. We bet right. He's still got his fucking hot dog cart.
Yeah,
We
he's not
bet
using
right
it,
on this
though.
one. Back to the hot dogs.
And then-
Almost says what?
And then anyway, so I said,
Oh,
not this
fucking
one,
earth.
Tim.
Oh man.
And
He
then
did, and I think and we were trying to. And we don't like saying no to people because it hurts people's
was
feelings.
this wasn't at a beer release. This was at something we weren't at
Yeah,
because
it
I got
was
a
something
text.
we weren't at because
I got a text from the from the
I think
owner
no,
of
it
Red
was. I
Cypress.
believe it was the Halloween party.
Oh
Yeah.
Halloween party, 'cause I was there.
Yeah.
it's the stuff we send our employees to.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what do you mean the hot dog? God damn, the hot dog
Anyway.
cart's out there. Oh, give me the homo says what? We say it for everything. It's one of our most used catchphrases.
Business, all
Tom
business
says that.
over.
He's like, I think the hot dog cart's out there. I'm like, homo says what? Like, we use it for everything. It's basically our Kleenex around here.
Anyway, so
I think this is when I quit the show.
I did.
Hit my thumb with a hammer and I scream it.
Then I get a text from Ryan, the owner, and he's like, a hot dog cartel.
Yeah.
I got heated. But because of me not wanting to confront people, and I blame myself because then I was like, fuck.
What did I say? Yeah.
Did I give Tim the impression that me telling him not to do this was a pass to do this? Like, that's how I think. I'm
Tim's
like,
our friend, too,
maybe I
because-
wasn't clear enough
And he
that I didn't
wouldn't-
want
he
the goddamn hot dog cart
Yeah,
there.
he wouldn't do anything deliberately to piss us off. You know, I mean, but we make
There's also a possibility there was a typo somewhere and Tom actually told him it was okay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's how I think.
I don't know. Who knows?
That's probably the most likely scenario.
Yeah.
You know what
Now-
I mean? Like, but there obviously was a miscommunication.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul, no big deal.
Or maybe Tim did the math in his head and he's like, Tom's being too overly conservative. I'm just going to show up anyway. It'll all be fine, which it was, by the way. Ryan didn't give a shit. That everybody was happy. Big Tim, Daydream Pizza was fine. Like, it turned out to be fine.
Everybody made money.
And maybe Tim did the calculation in his head. It's all going to be fine. Tom's just, not wanting to do it. I just was mad because I thought that I told him not to, and he did it anyway. And then I got mad that happened. Although nothing happened after, so I didn't get mad after. And that's if something bad would have happened, I would have gotten real mad. But since nothing bad happened, I just Anyway, that was the thing. And then Big Tim did apologize. He was like, "I'm sorry."
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I
still think he did it on purpose. Because I would do it to me because I'd be like, this.
Wait a minute. I'm going to start taking advantage of you.
Yeah. This guy's not going to do shit. He's a pussy. I'm just going to not listen to him. That's what I would do.
I would certainly do that now if I were listening.
Yeah.
It's a little tidbit behind the scenes.
Yeah. It's anyway. So that was the old hot dog cart. It wasn't even really a fiasco. It was just like one day. I think I texted you. It was like, fucking Big Tim went out there anyway. I told him not to.
And I
but
said,
then that was
what? I was all for that. This is all for that. I was just waiting in the week. I was just waiting there like spaghetti. All I was waiting for.
Anyway.
All right, let me see if I hit everything on this particular show for you guys. Ted Nougat. We talk about candy bars. Ted Nougat. Steal a base, steal a taco. I think that was a promotion going on.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I get mad at?
Sorry. You know what really grinds my gears?
There it is.
Is that we do have this reputation, obviously, because I said, fucking wore a clown suit, and we're all we it's a ragtag
I don't help
team
you because just the way I look,
bizarre business.
Just as by design, I don't think anyone will ever take me seriously because I'm short.
Yeah.
And I look. I am a human novelty just no matter what I'm doing. Or, you know what I mean? I always get that.
Yeah.
There will never be a time where any employee goes to help me where they don't address me like I'm a small doll person.
Even Lannister, he was the
matter.
royalty.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the
grunts.
end of the day, men look at me and at the end of the day, they're like, now there's a guy that cannot defend his wife's honor. Who will get beaten up and humiliated. Here's a guy that you could easily cut his dick off and put it in his own mouth, and he would cry and beg you to stop. Beg you.
I don't think anybody thinks that.
Oh.
But
I always go right to like cartel or cartel, but I was going southern there. Cartel.
So
cartel execution.
This is what I get mad at, is that, yes, we do have this reputation, but we are more professional than a lot of, and we deliver what we promise to more than a lot.
That's why we demand that you call us Mr. Homo says what. Or doctor.
I'm just
what
saying.
The hell are you talking about?
What I'm saying
what
is,
he talking about?
No, I get mad because
we're an official business, and our business dealings are actually professional.
Yeah, they are.
And then a guy down the street who's
Tom puts a lot of thought. We all do, but Tom's really killing himself over here.
Some fucking bullshitter in a suit works for some corporation, and he's got a business card, and he's not doing shit for you. And then it was like, yes,
but people will take them more seriously.
Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, and then pay him more, by the way.
Yeah,
a lot more.
Yeah, because it's just
with less results.
You're buying into
the name,
the suit.
It's just like the mini brands.
A suit and the business card. Yeah,
it is like mini brands.
There's no reality behind it, and I've been battling my whole life with the difference between
we're the great value of podcasts.
I just got
reality and perception, and it bothers me.
I won the golden tuna fish mini brands. I found it.
What does that mean?
Don't talk about it. It's don't talk about mini brands. It's breaking my house apart.
Because then I think I'm like, I could wear a suit, like big square shoulders.
Why don't you get one that fits at least?
No,
so you don't look like a buffoon.
No, we need to. We need to wear. We need to wear. We should start where you wear a big redneck buffoon suit.
I want you to look like the cat in the
A zoot suit. I want you to look like
Paula Abdul video.
I want you to look like what was the guy's name from Swingerhead? Michael Andrew. I want you to wear a Michael Andrew zoot suit. Look like a cartoon
Stripe?
wolf.
Big thick tie.
Why?
Big old,
And I want a long chain.
big
Pointy
old,
shoes.
Okay, let
big
me
old baggy Trump.
let me ask you something.
Baggy ass.
They're long. Are those pants, or do you just sew four flags together? There's no silhouette whatsoever. You're wearing four flags.
Long Little House on the Prairie
My
skirt.
God.
The bottom
He's
of your,
wearing a navy blue knapsack.
are those
You can't see your shoes because they're so balloony at the bottom.
Jinko business
Jinko
pants?
dress
Who
pants.
made your pants JanSport? My God, it looked like a backpack.
The bottom of your pants is touching the tips of your shoes. How is that?
I have something I want to ask you, because I went back and I watched it again because I did enjoy it. I was rewatching The Weeknd's halftime performance.
Okay.
And
God,
Did May watch it?
is it people love it or hate it?
yeah, May watched it. She
liked
liked, yeah, true to form, she liked it. She has nothing to compare it to, which is great, so you get no complaints.
True.
His voice is amazing. The guy's super talented, right? No complaints. I will say there is one thing that sticks out that's bothering me. He wore platform, black and white, Oxford, Hot Topic, like douchebag shoes.
Okay.
He wore the Hot Topic platforms that our friend James Colbert.
I feel like it was an ode to the Annie Are You Okay video, like with the shiny
Okay.
jacket and the
And the thing-
Oxfords.
okay, all right.
That's what I took from it.
Okay.
Like he was given like a tip of the cap to that.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
'cause he was
Style.
kind of doing some Michael Jackson moves too, a little bit.
He reminds me very much of like a Michael Jackson Princey Baby kind of a thing going on. I mean, the guy is
He's like,
infinitely talented, but his shoes bother me. That's the only thing I can find. You know, because everybody wants to complain. The only thing I can find, shoes. I didn't like the shoes.
Okay.
That's it. Everything else pretty darn good.
Also, I do.
Like, can you do better? Is what I would
Right.
ask.
I agree with
Let me see
Daniel.
your singing.
Where it's all only, like literally the only reviews on my social media were worst ever or best ever.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
not-
come
it's-
No in
that's
between.
it.
Yeah.
Best or worst ever. That's all you got internet.
We
Jesus
live in a world
Christ.
of extremes.
Yeah.
We live in a world of
I
extremes.
hate it because,
too.
like,
By the way,
it's certainly-
both can't be true.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And Ross Ross loves The Weeknd, and he's been trolling people and just hacking people up that hate on The Weeknd's performance, and he makes a lot of really good points. I think you have to make an argument. You can never say that it was the worst. I don't think even based on opinion, I don't think you can say that.
Who was the worst? The Guess Who? Or not the Guess Who, The Who?
I mean,
Nah, I
well,
don't know.
how far are we going back? We're
I-
going back to the goddamn local marching band.
Yeah, I
days,
think
you know,
the first
Those were
Super
even
Bowl.
better
I
than-
think the first
They were
Super
just a
Bowl was
marching
really bad.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your answer just based on logic. The first was like the what? Green Bay marching band.
Yeah, there's some sort of evidence that shows like when they started giving a shit about it and like it
When it was like a pop culture thing.
yeah, like I think it was like 80s when it became super commercialized but that didn't happen I think until like the 80s and 90s or something like that.
Yeah,
like, and
somebody had to sponsor
in
it.
the
prop
60s
it
and
up.
70s it was just some bullshit.
I think
right?
once Pepsi got a hold of it is when it kind of came to fruition.
Of course, yeah. When you start throwing multi-millions into it, and then it becomes more of a televised. I think the television rights and all that played into it. But
I was kind of glad though that we, we're a different type of show, so we don't have to get on here and crap all over it. You know what I mean? Like we can come in here and actually be like ourselves about it. And why can't it just be a thing?
Why can't it be a Jay Cutler don't care?
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's like whatever. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
really.
no, I'm with you.
Like, yes, I guess we
Ella
all.
Fitzgerald did the halftime in the 70s?
No, I would watch that.
Me too. I'm going to go back and watch that.
But then I guess, I was about to scream, don't ask, don't tell with social media. And who asked you for your opinion? Nobody. Why are you saying it?
Yeah.
But then again, what else are anybody going to post? Like, there's
Right.
like you have nothing else. So you just make comments. The problem is us looking at the comments and then putting some sort of level of importance to it. Who
Yeah.
cares what your friend Bob thought about the halftime show? It should be totally it doesn't matter to you.
Yeah,
But
fuck you, Bob.
But we
what
look,
do you know?
But we look at it and then we see someone's opinion, and if we think differently, it makes us angry. Weird.
Tell me if you agree with this like comparison. Exactly what you're talking about. We read it and then we give that particular comment some sort of
emotional
value,
weight.
right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
give
yeah.
it value.
There's no value.
But it's sort of the same thing we used to do to anybody that we would find out we're on the radio or anybody that we found out we're on TV. Oh, you're on TV? We would instantly give them value, right?
Yeah,
We'd be like, oh, well, obviously they're more important than that. You would elevate them, right?
We idolize celebrities.
So when you look on the internet, this magic box, and you see the person who has just as much freedom to write in the pixels as anyone else, it levels the playing field.
Yeah.
And I think you still
give it
almost like evolutionary. It's like almost the
Yes.
mixture of evolution with technology. You give it the same response that you would normally have, but it doesn't warrant that. Is that
yes?
okay?
Yeah, that's a brilliant point.
When we talk about this, I think you and I are always on the same playing field too. Because I'm on the emotional. I feel it when I read things on Facebook. I read them with the same level of weight that I would a normal. Because I admittedly am bad at if somebody says, "Oh, that guy's on TV." I'm like, I give them value. I lift them up. It's weird.
It's like, who cares what the mentally ill person is screaming at the side of the corner? Yes. But if he's typing it on the internet, you can't see the whole package, so you're just like giving it some sort of value. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's,
Jake Hudson's in there, the guy that wrote us a song. Can we do this on the OG?
Oh, yeah,
or do you want to? He's in there.
Up to you guys.
He says he doesn't have the dough to subscribe, but that's fine, man. We're just glad you're hanging out and listening to us. Here's his song.
You don't have $1.
No, you got to do more than that on the Twitch.
Twitch?
Twitch is expensive.
Well, it's free if you had Amazon.
Well,
right?
that's what I'm saying. But he wants
like $3.
He wants to get all the emotes and stuff. I thought that was like $35.
It's more. There's different tiers. Yeah,
I mean, at least throw
somebody buy it for Jake. For Christ's sake,
something at $1. Yeah,
gift him a sub, Norm. I know you got some.
100 pink. Here's his song. I want to play a little bit of his song here. This is what he wrote for us. It's called "Ode to Tom and Dan Live."
Okay.
Like Tom and Dan, they don't BS about anything.
We don't.
They talk about topics and they talk about stuff.
Yep.
And they even talk to people in their chat.
We do.
They have a YouTube channel. They are funny and smart.
Thank you.
They live in Florida, I think.
Yep. Got it right.
They need to be people like Tom and Dan. They need to be people like Tom and Dan. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Jake.
That was
Jake,
the most generic song I've ever heard. Hey!
We want some pussy, I'm kidding.
What a song.
Okay.
What a hey, who wants a pussy story?
For whatever reason, it happened to me earlier this morning when I played it. For whatever reason, Jake rolls into a remix of somebody say, "Hey, I want some pussy," which makes Jake's song my favorite song anybody's written for us. Thank you, Jake. Thanks for being in our chat room. Thanks for watching on Twitch. Very cool of you.
So Jake he had no idea about
Twitch
our show.
only,
Just Twitch found us.
He's a Twitchman.
Yeah.
He's in there. He could call in. Jake, call in.
Don't bully him, Twitch chat room.
Yeah, be sweet to Jake. He's a good man.
Get one listener at a time. We're losing hundreds.
Hemorrhaging them.
So Jake, what kind of
he's
content?
Not paying, so we're not losing anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Listening,
He's like, you can't afford to. What are you talking about? How?
Oh, Norm. And apparently Jake and Norm. They're forging a friendship.
No. Norm, you stay out of this.
Did you replace Norm with Jake?
No. Well,
who is worse?
I don't know Jake
eyes?
yet.
Who is worse in your eyes, Norm or Jamie Spears? Who is the worst?
they did portray him like some redneck.
No, I wrote something down.
He is.
Okay,
yokel.
I'll leave it.
He's a drunk redneck.
I'll leave you with
loves
this.
to gamble and lost all his family's money.
I wrote down a quote that I'm going. Remember? Okay, I just said "member," which is how you know I'm falling into my true Virginia, Florida roots. Remember when I was trying to find a catchphrase that I wanted to either start or end the show with?
Yes.
And you guys said I was stupid.
Yeah.
Jamie Spears wrote the quote. I pulled it from the documentary, and the quote
is,
"My daughter gonna be so rich she gonna buy me a boat."
Yeah.
I'm gonna yell that at the end of every show for Maisie.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's sad. It's actually really sad.
It's perfect.
It's really sad.
And it goes back to what we realized, our theory about
so sad.
If you were a child star, you probably have trashy parents.
Oh.
Like, just statistically, it probably leans more likely that they're the quintessential child star.
At least one of them, right?
Yeah, my kid's
at least
gonna
one.
make me famous and rich.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull you out of school. You're gonna work on dancing and put the flappers in and all that.
What?
That's what the teeth thing is. Anyway, that song was god awful. The worst.
Oh, don't let him
It
talk
was
to you
the
like
worst
that.
I've ever heard.
It was the most generic song I've ever heard in my life.
But
No,
it did
we
make
need
me a
people
little
like
happy.
People,
We need
they
people.
talk to people. They have topics.
Tell me what he said that was wrong.
Again, not wrong. Just very generic.
It's like
No,
when my
yeah,
daughter
it was
plays
just-
Guess Who with Andrea. I tell her, you got to ask big, broad questions. And her
Yeah.
first question will be like, does your person have a white and pink stripe in her hair?
Do you think,
very specific.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're the dumbest kid in the world.
Daniel, do you get mad that somehow like 90s radio influenced your current, I guess, I don't want to call this radio, but your current entertainment now, and then you feel
Like
that,
I'm old?
no, that's just you're influenced by that, so you fall into it a little bit, and then it makes you mad because you're like, God damn, that's a little bit of this old broadcasting influence. I have a point here. My point is being mean to our audience and in the callers and anybody who interacts with us. I feel like maybe influenced by back in the old radio days because that's what you did, right?
Yeah.
If you were always
did.
mean to the callers, and I think maybe nowadays
Because
like,
the people that were with you from
They're-
jump, they want to be
Part of the pack,
riding on
yeah.
your shoulders as you're like being a bully. They want to be a shoulder bully, right? And then the next show you do, they'll be shoulder bullies for the new guy that calls into the
Yes.
program.
Well,
Correct.
the reason why I'm saying this is because all my sons want to do is watch Minecraft YouTube videos and all these videos of people playing video games, and and like sometimes like a Twitch thing that we're going YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyway, they seem to be all really nice to their subscribers and their audience, and
they're paying them.
and they only
Yeah.
they're like, hey, how you doing? They're like overly
Yeah, I don't know
nice.
if you noticed, we don't have a lot of subscribers, Tom.
I know, but I'm thinking, I was like, I wonder.
And anyone we get, you usually say their songs are shit.
Well, again, that guy's not even paying.
That's
so-
what made me think
Yeah,
of it.
but I mean, he's certainly not going to pay now. I mean, if he,
I don't know.
if he was saving his money to subscribe, he certainly
But-
is going to use that on meth now.
Did that happen because old
I think it's
broadcasters
also because old broadcasters got paid by the corporation as
And
to
not by
now
the people,
it's by
yes.
the actual consumers.
Oh,
so
okay.
you better be nice or they're going to
Oh,
take their money
all
away.
right.
You're like, oh, hey, Jay, great song.
How did you go to business school?
Hey, but I feel like if I said that was a great song, that everybody in our Twitch room and everybody who listens to us will be like, he's lying. I know it's horrible because I just heard it.
Well, let Jake figure that out, you know?
I should just not say anything.
Yeah, you should let Jake figure
And the
that out. I
listeners
mean, you
are-
don't want to be like, just so you know, I'm going to cut to the fucking chase here. Your song sucks. And they're going to tell you later.
Well, that's what I
but
went
I'm going
to.
to save you
That
some
is what
time.
he went to.
'cause I'm the
I went
real
to-
deal, brother.
I went to
That's
that.
his default.
I didn't even feel that way. Honestly,
Now,
I
how
didn't
come-
even
It
care.
didn't move the needle
Now,
like
yeah,
but
that.
I felt the need to attack him.
So
Why?
how can you confront Jake and not waste his time, but you can't confront a telemarketer and not waste their time?
But that's another weird thing that I think I've just morphed and be able to tell the truth only on the show.
Jake matters more than the telemarketer, but you're more concerned about the telemarketer on your phone. You're more concerned about hurting her feelings, not the guy who would be willing if he had the money to give us $3.
That's the problem.
Oh,
That's
man.
why it's crazy. Like, I'm not mentioning it because it's not crazy. I'm saying this is a bizarre thing that I must have picked up through old school broadcasting. Is you got to be mean to the people that support you.
Pig Tits Christine says, it's okay, Jake. If you have a baby, Tom will ask you about it before making fun of you. You got a reputation
Or
here.
is it like a Stockholm syndrome that I'm trying to make like they're like, why is
You
this
bring
guy?
up Stockholm Syndrome a lot, which leads me to believe that you have kidnapped your family and you're trying to get them to love you over time.
It's emotional abuse.
It's one of the
yeah,
only.
you bring this up
Yeah.
daily.
You
It's
throw
on-
negs at our listeners and then you want them to love
this
you.
dude's constantly bringing up mind control.
It's a very abusive relationship.
It's also only one of two syndromes I know, that and Downs. That's it. And no other syndrome. It's Stockholm or Downs.
If I was given two
What
on
other
multiple choice and they said you have to pick one,
What other syndromes are there?
I know which one I'm going to go with.
There's that bad guy in Incredibles. That's the nerds.
Wait a minute. There's Stockholm and Downs.
there's a
Oh my God, that'd be a funny show name.
Anyway, do you think
It's Stockholm and Downs in the morning.
Do you think I scared away this listener who I've already forgotten their name?
Oh, Jake. Jake. Yeah, Jake's
which is
long
another
gone.
thing
Yeah,
that I
Jake,
shouldn't do.
Yeah, Jake packed his
He
singing,
left. Okay.
singing up and went away.
Or is maybe because we're talking about him, he's like, oh, if I tune
Well,
back in
one of
next
his
week-
friends will be like, hey, they're still talking about you. And he'll be like, well, screw them. I'm taking my
Maybe-
purple diamonds and going home.
Maybe it doesn't matter anymore because there's a million platforms. It used to be, remember?
Oh, he's still in here. Hold on.
Oh.
He sent a message. He said,
'Cause remember-
in the past couple of years, I've been dealing with some serious stuff. On February 7th, 2020, I lost my dad due to liver failure and kidney failure because of alcohol.
Oh, my
Watching
God.
Twitch and listening to the radio makes me
Way to
happy.
go, Tom.
And thank you guys for making me happy as well. Jake, I'm glad that we could help
See,
you.
he's looking for a father figure.
Oh,
I'm
why
sorry.
do you have to
Shitting
put all?
over.
Oh, I didn't know all that
Sorry you
stuff.
lost your dad. I lost my mom a couple of months back, and so I feel you, man, and I appreciate the song. And you know what? I'm going to give you free membership to Twitch. That's what I'm going to do for you.
It's free.
'Cause I'm the good one. I'm going to give him the paid one. I'm going to pay it out of my own money.
Oh, no, okay. Well,
Out of my own money. You know, I am a hero.
I didn't know this guy's going through a rough.
I'm going to use the company money. Just so you're a
no,
hero
I knew
too.
that already.
Yeah.
When you say I'm going to use
Yeah,
my
yeah.
own money, I just
Yeah, yeah,
assume
yeah. I
same
said a
thing.
lot this morning too.
Yeah,
It's a company.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
company.
I know. Yeah. Then I'm like, I'll let him do it because I do it too. we're both
Oh my God.
stealing our
When's
own
the
money.
last time we both looked at the real bank account, not just
I
the
don't-
fake?
Yeah. There's no way of knowing.
Let's see if
man.
Jake says anything
There's
else.
no way of knowing any of this.
Christine wants you to give Jake a hat.
No,
Norm
that's-
wants you to give Jake a hat.
Well, what has he done so far? He hasn't
What kind
been
of
a
hat?
subscriber.
Wait a minute here.
Send us a song.
Are we giving
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dome hat, or are we giving him one of the straw hats that
Well,
apparently
defective straw.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got
they
the
hot
count-
glued all the patches
Yeah,
over
but those
on.
cost a lot to ship. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Where
And
does he
like-
live?
Yeah. Like we get one.
Does he even need it? I don't even know if there's a
Mediocre
lot of
song.
sun there. If it's Minnesota,
Right.
I'm not sending you a sun
Yeah,
hat.
Yeah.
No, you don't need that.
Because
Yeah.
the shipping on that's like $9.
Also,
And you can't even give us $1.
outside of Florida, our listeners they have a less of a value because they can't support us.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's obvious. It's the truth. I'm sorry. It's the stone cold truth. Because then outside of Florida, you can't use any of our Florida
Yeah.
advertisers.
And you can't come to our events. And if you do, you scare us because if you all came, we couldn't handle it.
Yeah. There's it's a Planet Fitness model. If you all work out at once, our goddamn business is ruined. We need you fatzos to stay home.
Yeah, we need you
Jesus Christ.
to think about working out, fatzos.
Yeah.
Don't work out. This is
You
what I
may,
want.
we're
Okay.
ready for you the first 2 weeks of January.
This
But
is what
after
we
that,
need.
we have very little staff.
We need your money, and we need you to be a BDM member. But what we don't need is all of you coming to our events and all of you listening to our shows. That's the last thing we need.
I don't know. Oh,
Okay, I think we did a lot of
so-
good here. Welcome to the team, Jake. Glad to have you on board.
are there any like new school media, like the Twitch?
Oh, I thought
or
you were going to say, are
YouTube?
there any new school metal bands out there you should be checking out? Hi, guys. Anybody got any new metal bands? New with a U and an umlaut. I've been listening to some punk bands. So far, I like Omarosa.
Are there any YouTubers or Twitch people that are mean, like old school '90s radio style, mean to their subscribers?
Oh, yeah. What's that one guy that gets his house shot up all the time?
He gets his house shot
What's
up.
his name? I know one. I don't know who I'm talking about. Something evil or
Oh, with this
Dr. Disrespect?
that guy.
Okay, well
Oh.
okay, he's an asshole to his. That's his.
No, he's playing a character. I don't even think he's being an asshole.
People are shooting at him.
I believe there's a difference between playing a character who is an asshole and then being you and then just
Of
being
course.
an asshole to your listeners.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
apparently he's been banned from Twitch at this point.
he because
Yeah,
of-
but he already made his money. He's fine. He's already got his own streaming platforms. He'll go anywhere he wants and be fine.
Yeah, I guess I don't know because if you if you had your entire audience through Twitch,
He's on YouTube now. There you go.
Oh, okay.
He's fine.
Just transfer right over.
Just
Yeah.
go someplace else.
So I guess it does exist. There are but it's all character driven, right?
Yeah, that's
Like,
it's kind of fun, but in doses for me, definitely doses. But I think you're gonna have to watch a lot of this because your boy's got that video game bug. So you better get good on Twitch, buddy, because man,
we're gonna leave soon.
Yeah, we got. Well, this is the OG intro deal, so go as long as you need. But
no, I know. Well, okay. I emailed Samantha last night and asked her, see if you could find a child psychologist to talk to, because me and Crystal constantly talk about is this all right for them? Is this bad? And then we are making up our own conclusions based on nothing and based on our own instinct. And I worry about that because, okay, for instance, this is an example. They love watching Minecraft, kids playing Minecraft YouTube videos, right? And all it is a kid, and there's everybody's seen it. There's the webcams on them, and then they're just talking.
Are they explaining what they're building?
It's more of they're just playing these different levels, and they're bantering back and forth. There's usually in this one that they're watching this morning, there was 2 of them, and they were just talking back and forth. They were trying to get through this level, right? And and apparently it was a level that someone made up online, and then they had to
user created.
Yeah, it's like an obstacle course of Minecraft or something.
Yeah, that's a popular thing. Come check out my obstacle course.
And so me and Crystal were having a discussion, and we're contemplating not letting them watch any YouTube video game videos, right? Because they like it more than any other content.
So let's take it away from them.
Well,
Tipper Gore over here.
Is it the candy of a food as far as this entertainment? Is this vapid, no empty calories nonsense?
As opposed to what? What else are you going to show?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sesame Street.
Well, or just a regular...
Something educational.
No, just a produced cartoon on Netflix.
Then it's the same shit. No. Same shit then.
But it seems like the produced cartoon has a storyline. It has characters. This is just two
there's
teens.
writing in there, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's art.
There's a story. There might be a moral in there.
Yeah, exactly. Now
you're literally shitting on content that basically you do for a living.
Yeah, but our audience is the kids.
Right.
So
what's the difference?
No, there's a difference between curated a storyline.
I don't know.
Television program and just a kid playing Minecraft. Yeah, I'd say there's more value in the story than there is the.
But I don't know that for sure.
Even this is a story. This isn't just people voyeur watching us play video games.
But also,
so I don't think you can compare.
They're voyeur listeing to our lives.
Yeah, but we're
telling a story. We're still performing. These people playing video games aren't necessarily performing.
But also, these are our listeners are adults. I don't give it we're trying to make people laugh.
Right,
whatever.
Right.
Well, whatever the reason you're listening, I appreciate it very much. But it's not my kids listening. This is not for kids content. So I'm like, is this? Should I limit this content because I think it's void of anything and it's just candy for the brain, and then therefore, even though they like it so much, or does it not matter? And this is the same bullshit as Misha and the Bear or any other
it's a good
Netflix.
Question.
But in my mind, logically, I'm like, well, at least the Misha and the Bear, it had writers. There's a storyline.
I understand your logic, but I have no answer for you.
Exactly. That's why I want to talk to a child psychologist.
We need a pro, right?
Because I think
we do. I'm gonna have an opinion.
I'd rather.
I think it's all the same, but
I don't think so, because I think that just based on purely physics, the amount of energy put into Misha and the Bear, if we're just going to use that as the example, there's an energy exchange there where there is writing, character development, there's storyboards.
They cut out some.
There's illustration.
But
there's
if
time
this is a game that they actually play, and if it teaches them how to do gameplay.
No, but it's not that. It's not teaching them. There's nothing educational about it either.
It's voyeuristic. It's a one guy playing video games. Yeah, you're watching him play video games. And that's
but he's not describing what he's doing at all?
No.
Some of them do, but I know what you're talking about.
And it's literally, some of them do, but it's all few and far between. But this particular one, and literally this morning, was they were trying to do this obstacle course that someone else made up, and they were just like, can I do it? And they're bantering back and forth. Two young 12-year-olds talking about doing this obstacle course. It wasn't saying hey, this is how to build this or whatever. It wasn't educational at all. It was just, in my view, nonsense. Now, but I admit I could just be a dumb old man, because my old man could be looking at me watching Darkwing Duck or whatever the fuck,
of course.
and just be like, this is nonsense. But is it the same though? Because there is a difference between a curated cartoon show with a episodic,
I think it depends on the show.
I think to you think that, but I think as a 5 and 6 year old, there's no difference. They don't know that there's writers. They even know that people write cartoons. Probably not.
They're
just
know.
watching it to entertain themselves and waste time.
They don't know it, but is there an actual
subconscious
a child therapist or psychologist could be like, yes, this content is void of any sort of storyline or character or education, and therefore it's kind of like candy. It should be only consumed every once in a while and not for long periods of time or not every day. I don't know. That's the question I want to ask, because I think a lot of parents are like, I don't know, my kid wants to watch. Because at first I was like, hey, you want to watch Minecraft videos? Who gives a shit? As whatever you want. Yeah. And then as I'm watching it, I'm like, is this... Why did they like it so much? That's why I'm concerned. I'm like, why do they always go to it and it's their number one thing they like? That's a red flag to me. It's like, oh, this pill's good, and then you're sucking dick for it. It's probably too good.
I try to think. Of
right?
Anything that you're sucking dick for, I feel like is too good, right?
Well, I'm saying,
I feel like at the end of the day, if Andrea's like, you love those burritos, and I know I'm gotta suck his dick again. But I feel like that's a little too far.
But in life, we have to limit things that we like too much, right? And is that the same for entertainment?
I think it is. And in this case,
is there a negative consequence?
I don't
know. Or is it nothing?
I think. Interesting. It's an interesting question.
I hope it's nothing, but believe me, I hope this theory is wrong, and then some child psychologist or something like a scientist or someone who knows more than I do can be like, yeah, it's all the same. It's no big deal. And then I'm like, great. Well, let them watch what they want to watch.
The thing I worry about the most
there's gonna be variations too. Yeah, that too. But there's also if you're comparing it to an actual like Mr. Rogers or Reading Rainbow, then of course one is going to be better for your kid than the other because there's actual learning going on.
I'm saying
or if you have them read a book instead of
of course, yes.
But I think if it's just trash cartoon versus watching something, I think it's kind of the same.
That's what I just want to figure out. And and I don't know. I'm just saying my assumption is that it's different.
I'll tell you though. I'm trying to answer. I like video games. Your boys like video games. I'm not that different than they are, okay? Other than I'm old and fat.
Yeah.
So let's go with that, right? When I look up video game tutorials or things on YouTube, there is a benefit that I get from seeing things that I can't yet accomplish, and it does give me courage is the wrong word, but motivation is the correct word. It gives me motivation and a level of adrenaline and excitement to see if I can accomplish exactly what this person did in the video. So I'm wondering,
oh, look what that person can do.
I'm wondering
if I can do that.
Because now I know they don't have the skill yet because most kids don't with video games. It's just they'll get there.
They'll get there, yeah.
But I wonder if it's just something because normally the answer is right in front of us and it's real easy.
I would accept that if they were watching and then taking what they've learned
and then applying
it to when they play, because they do like playing overall more than anything.
Is it intimidating to play though, and they're a little nervous? Because it is easier to watch the other people doing it than it is to
But it's the equivalent.
Like watching swimming lessons versus swimming, right?
It's good.
Right. Still exciting.
You just
watch. It's just kind of scary.
You watch someone play Grand Theft Auto and they figured out that if they go 100 miles an hour with the Lamborghini and hit the offer and then they flip onto the ship and they're just like, like just a bunch of. They're not like, hey, this is a secret how to beat this particular level. It's like just nonsense. Them just fucking off, right? And that's what
Christine says. It's like porn. I guess you're watching it. You're not really doing it.
Well, again, this is not applied to adults. I don't give it like adults. You are after the age of 18. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm just trying to trace it back to see because you're like, well, what is the why?
It's fun. Yeah. I mean, kid, I know you're King No Fun over there, but it's just fun for them to watch. It's entertaining for them. Now, I'm not saying let them do it all the time every day, of course, but sometimes you just want something numbness. or mindless and numb and just watch something to.
Of course, no, and I get that, and that's what cartoons are.
I think even kids need that. Yeah,
I agree. That's what cartoons are. But then I'm saying is like because
I'm looking for the child psychologist, and we'll get your answer from them. But because I think we're all going to have different opinions on this.
I don't have enough knowledge in it because I don't have the same kid experience that Tom has. You know what I mean? Because they're all case by case. They're all absolutely completely different. I was going to say they're all snowflakes. I do want to say that.
Like so they've been, and this is another thing, like they will wake up easy and early in the morning if they get to watch TV before we have to start getting ready, right? So they'll get up when our alarm goes off at like 6:30, 6:45. And then they'll run out and then start watching TV. And it's easier for us because like we don't have to pull them out of bed.
Distraction, sure.
And then I can make breakfast and their lunch, and then Crystal gets them. It's this whole routine. But during that morning TV, they always want to watch YouTube, for like 40 minutes or whatever, or 30 minutes. And
because they're about to go to school and have to learn a bunch of shit.
Yeah, but to us, I'm like, should I force them to watch a cartoon instead of YouTube?
They just woke up. Let them watch something mindless. They don't have to really pay attention to.
Cartoons are mindless too.
Yeah, we go cartoons over YouTube, but only because YouTube has such a negative connotation. It's just because occasionally it'll fall on something dumb or fall on something that I'm like, I totally don't want you watching that. I don't know what it is about it, but I don't like it.
See, I'm not worried about the content, just about basically
the amount,
the what it is.
Yeah,
is it pure garbage that does nothing for them?
Yeah.
And
I see what you're saying.
And cartoons are the same. Anyway, we went way too long. Sorry.
Yeah. We're. I gave a circle about 20 minutes ago. I'm like,
sorry.
We're gonna do like a full BDM show. Hey, that's good. I like talking about this kind of stuff. It's interesting. So we'll get on that. And we'll definitely get you guys an answer. Enjoy the show, guys. This was originally show number 390, October 28th of 2016, entitled 2 Hours of Buttholes.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Hey, Sam.
Hello.
Samantha Butler.
I apologize for screaming into your headphones.
Thank you. I appreciate the apology.
Because I realize I'm like going from dead silence to scream welcoming everybody. And
I like your scream welcomes. What's wrong with a scream welcome? I enjoy a good scream welcome. Tell me
it
one
blows Samantha's head.
I'm getting tinnitus now.
I mean, last time I checked, this wasn't about what Sam and Butler want. This is about what we want. This is about our dreams.
Is this what I want?
I don't know. I don't know. I ask myself that every single morning. Speaking of people who ask themselves every single morning, is this what I want? On the line with us now is, I personally believe, the greatest radio performer of all time, and no one will beat him or his love for radio, ladies and gentlemen. Live from the Hobo Fish Camp, it's our good friend, Patrick Tuttle.
Fowler. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say your last name because remember, you said a certain radio person's last name one time, and all hell broke loose. Now it's on billboards.
Got a whole show
now it's on billboards. Never mattered. You owe Tuttle an apology.
Hey, you wanna know what's funny about that is that I went. Okay, so the show that we worked on... Todd's
got his mic tight, and he's getting sexy creamy when he's talking. This is called Tuttle After Dark.
Listen, I'm fine with just talking about old times Tuttle almost got fired. It makes me laugh. I don't know. Hold on. Let's
go ahead.
Before we get on a tangent, because we already started fighting before this.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do nothing. I just sat here and was looking at the camera.
This is called your nephew's birthday party. Family comes together. We all bicker and fight. Punch him in the arm. He's wearing his mom's polyester jacket.
I guess I screamed. I didn't do nothing, but I started immediately making fun of him. So
you also slipped in a redneck talk. You're like, I didn't do nothing, which is what you would have heard at the nephew's birthday party at the trailer park.
So back to you yelled out Jimmy's last name one time back in the morning show, and he got mad at it. Me and Daniel laughed a lot.
I
think he went to the management to try to get you fired.
No, it was me, Catherine Brown, and Jimmy. in a room in the monster's office, which was already an awkward place to begin with because it was
nothing but
it was like
cartoon.
it was like Sanford and Son of mini disc and, and just random stuff
trash
that
hole.
people have given us.
Would he start massaging your shoulders, sniffing your hair? Sleepy Joe.
Man, now it was so uncomfortable because it's like, why would you do this to Jimmy? Why would you do that?
You exposed, you
yell out
doxed him.
his last name.
Yeah,
But Jimmy just kept poking me and poking me and poking me, and
poking
I was just
you.
like,
Hold on a
All right,
second.
poking and coking.
Poking and coking. I'm all about
poking
that.
and coking.
That's what I do on a
And
Saturday night. It's a little poking and coking.
The only thing I could think of is just to yell out his last name, Goldberg.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, he freaked out, and they dumped it the first time, and then I think I said it like 3 or 4 more
Devil Colbert. Colbert.
That's where.
And I wish you 1,000 Colberts.
That's where I think you got in trouble because it was when you knew they dumped the first one, and then you knew the system, so you were just sort of yelling it. And you were standing in the production booth, so you can't. No one can turn off the audio.
There is a scenario in every broadcaster's mind, I feel like, where if things are going wrong and you know that you are going to die, and you have 2 delays, that you do pull the double
yelling.
F word scenario.
Yeah. Well, no, it's called short spacing. You know, you guys weren't on the show during the time, but this was my second stint on the Monsters. Bubba, the Love Sponge, called into the morning show.
Oh, Jesus.
And I knew that Bubba had a agreement with Cox Communications that he was not allowed to mention the name Cowhead or Mike Calta because they had been fighting with each other.
Okay.
That's like old radio minutia. They love it. It's just piled up.
Yeah.
So
what
You can't say my name.
We have to adhere to these rules. We must.
Well, no, they were at each other's throats, and I knew that
Big,
they couldn't
fat
talk
radio
about
throats.
each other. Yeah, so I mean, very fat throats. I don't even know where where shoulder and skull begins. But what I'm trying to say is that I just kept saying Calta, Cowhead, until I knew how much of a delay he had left. And then I just kept going on, and he had to hang up because he knew it was a $5,000 fine every time.
Oh my God.
You just
Well, you love going too far. Don't this guy's you're the real deal.
This is grown adults.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes it funny.
And don't act like you don't like it, Tom.
Oh, we love it.
I love it.
Yeah, well, it's a guilty pleasure
I'll
around here.
talk old radio stories all day long with you because it's fascinating.
It's
such a bizarre thing.
When Tuttle tells me,
I
forgot. If he goes, I remember this one time, and if it's a news story, I swear to God, it's as if somebody said, hey, remember the Paris Hilton tape? I've got it again. Because that's something I will always watch. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things that I'll be like, I'll watch that again.
There'll never be a time like this.
The movie with, what's the name? The plane. Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Denzel with
Con Air.
Con Air's on? I'll always watch it. Always watch it.
It's such a unique
Put down the bunny
genre. Let's examine it. Like the whole 90s radio wars and morning radio zoos and all this stuff started by Howard Stern. I'm pretty sure he was probably the original with, I bet other people were doing it.
I feel like it's the only time that anyone has ever legitimately liked the zoo is the morning zoo.
And then,
dude, but Howard would do that. He would go into every town and pick a fight with the big dog.
And then he'd beat him up, and then he'd throw a funeral, and that would just fuel the fire more. He'd claim his victory and his #1 book in that particular city.
Mm-hmm.
Then he'd move on to the next one.
But it was also, he knew as a way to manipulate them to talking about it, because that's the oldest trick in the book, because you start attacking this other person on the air, they start talking about it, and then the person they didn't even know the other one existed until they talked to it, and they're like, I'm going to hear what this guy said. It's
hashtag Tater Hayes.
Now, Tom, this was actually before you, and this really wasn't even a kind of a fair fight. And I love Doc and Johnny, but that whole feud with the Monsters and Doc and Johnny, I remember the day that Russ got on and we was like, if you want to have a demeasuring contest, we'll have a demeasuring contest. You're acting like you're gonna shoot one of my guys at the
Right, which one?
What are you? bringing a little Smokey to a
gunfight.
It was great. It was great radio. But what I'm saying is a top 40 morning zoo show, and I'm not saying that, but Doc and Johnny were legends. But that was just like a kind of. It was very heated, and that was before you, Tom.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, Tom only cut. I mean, admittedly, he only cut the tail end of all of that.
Yeah.
So
like you never got to experience the Love Docs war.
No,
that wasn't really a war.
I mean, it really wasn't. But
in my entire time in radio, I had never gone through a radio war.
Yeah, no,
I missed 10 years.
Well,
there are plenty of people that serve and never see active duty. I mean, that's just a thing.
But you think
you did start some pod wars.
Listen, you still helped keep America moving.
Yeah, you were just in the reserves. You were like a military police guy that busted people for bringing hooch onto the base or something.
Coast Guard bear suit.
I'm just saying it's unlikely that I went through that span of time without being in a radio war. I just happened to fall in the weird spot.
Neutral zone.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
But you missed the best times, man.
No,
I missed the real
fun.
Before
it was kind of gross.
Yeah, but you guys at the peak '90s, the end of the '90s.
I saw some stuff that at the time I was probably into, but if I saw that now, it's just kind of icky.
Like, oh man,
I got the end of it where I'd still go to these events and people would be flashing and it was
already phasing its way out.
Yeah, like
Daniel, was Tom a part of? Remember that first time we gave away the pair of boobs live on the Monster thing?
I was a listener.
That was one of the worst things ever because it was two sisters. They were twins. They came up there.
Man,
that was
and they started like
I'm not joking.
Twister 69ing in like chocolate pudding.
I used to be a listener, and that was the first time I ever went to a radio website because that was the very beginning where you guys.
I gotta figure out how to get through these. Foot Locker's got a firewall.
That was pre Home Depot.
My God.
I didn't have a job up here in Orlando. I think at the time.
Substantial Subs?
No, that was
still a
Champs.
subman?
That was Champs.
Miami Subs.
I went to my computer lab at UCF and I went to the radio station website to see the twins that were trying to win the cruise that you got.
It was boobs.
Oh, the boobs!
It was a set of boobs, and then
I think I was in studio.
And
for
then
that,
me and
as a 17-year-old.
Oh my God!
When I was job shadowing.
And then the girl that won them,
George Washington. Do you remember the George Washington chick?
Yeah,
Daniel,
that was my
the
fault.
funniest thing that Daniel. Like honestly, Tom, how would you feel? Like this girl was very attractive body-wise, but she had the face of George Washington.
Like exactly like
Daniel
George
brought
Washington.
this up, and everybody started wearing like Revolutionary War stuff in the crowd.
I was bad. I was a bad person.
Hey,
but Tom, she sold the bit. She went into it. She dressed
up like
George Washington on stage to try to win the boobs, and I thought it was great.
I made her a star.
Tuttle.
I don't know.
Did she get the boobs?
No, she didn't win.
No,
One of the skinnier girls won, and then she got done, and it was a complete and utter bowling ball botch job.
Oh no!
Oh, dude, I don't even understand.
They looked like you remember the toy that came out years ago called Mad Balls, where it was basically just a ball that had some sort of unfortunate, grotesque vein problem. That's what,
is it a vein ball?
Yeah, it was a vein ball. That's what they ended up looking like, two Mad Balls.
Every once in a while, Tuttle, I'll get super high and I'll think about it. I'm like, man, you know what we should do? We should do a 90s radio throwback show.
We've tried to do this, dude.
And then
it's too hard to stay in character.
Let me help you produce this.
I would love for you to.
There,
too hard.
I was there during the beginning of it. I only did 2 years in the 90s, but then I was still in that carryover of the 90s. You know, it wasn't until like after 9/11. 9/11 stopped 90s radio.
Yeah, well, not. I mean,
Janet Jackson too, a little bit, right?
I think the 2020s finally solved it, but it
Ghost of Manu Bowl.
It was happening when I was there. I was in a bear suit doing lots of stunts with you, Tuttle, and that was
on you, buddy, and that's how you got your foot in the door.
But I'm
it
saying
was
that
not 90s. It was the residual 90s bleeding into the 2000s.
Yeah.
Ghost of Manu Bowl, he kind of puts me. I'm in there too. You know, I'm just as 90s as either of you two. Because he says, I used to carpool with my ex-girlfriend to work and listen to the Monsters on the way. She quit riding with me after she heard Daniel ask a lady on the phone if he could fill her bra up with mayonnaise and squish her teas into it. That's about right.
That sounds like something Daniel said. That is Daniel.
I want that on my tombstone.
So here's the problem with
Pizza.
it, Tuttle.
We'll be right back.
It's like everything else that is nostalgia. Your memory is fond, but if you really look at it, not good. And this is what I'm just thinking of it now. I watched that Britney Spears documentary, which we're going to do a whole show about. But
a whole show?
Yeah, we're doing a whole in-depth behind
fighting
the scenes.
semantics completely.
We're calling it, have you heard this thing?
Samantha did a lot of research.
I spent months on that.
I'm going to use her research for this.
I listened to yours, and I think I can basically say what you said.
But anyway, I look back, and they were showing stuff from 2004, and I'm cringing on how bad it was.
2008.
Yeah. And then of how different society was, and then how bad and it doesn't translate now. If we did something, first we could never get through it, and second, it wouldn't even be funny because it's only funny when we're looking at the past.
I have started writing because Thomas had this idea for doing a throwback show. Staying in character, doing the imaging for it, and doing the whole thing, and doing it old school style. No different than any other show when they do like Parks and Rec decides that they want to do like I don't know, a specialty. Hey, we're back in the Revolutionary War days. No different than that. Just like a spin-off thing, and I can't do it. I've tried to stay in character.
Too close to home.
No, you just can't. It's impossible to almost to fake.
Because it's not. Then you're just acting at that point, and that's not what people want. They want the real, and the real was back then because that's what the culture was like back then, and there's no way to replicate it now unless you're just completely acting. It's just not. I mean, there's elements of it, we joke around about it, but back those radio days, it would never translate now because it's kind of like looking back at a stand-up comedy special from the 80s. It's like not as funny to us because
it's a time capsule.
It is, No. The jokes that has to do with that, section of time, and that's why it's funny. Anyway.
Well, guys, this is I've been talking about this a lot on my podcast. Is that like, for example, when you look at a movie back in the day, maybe like the first Spider-Man movie, you saw the graphics, the CGI and stuff, and you're like, holy crap, this is as good as it gets. And then 10 years later, when you watch it, you're like,
doesn't hold up.
It doesn't
man,
age,
this is really bad. And then you look at some of the lines that they write for people as well, too, that you like you guys brought up Con Air earlier. There were some lines on there at the time we were like, hell yeah, Nick Cage sounded cool as hell saying that line. But now looking back on it,
corny.
It's cheesy as hell.
Yeah. It just nothing ever ages well. We can't ever consume it like we did the first time, and then all we're remembering, a lot of it is the enjoyment from the first time.
God.
But if we are able to,
there's only a few movies that are able to do that. One of the ones that I feel like was able to do it, I'm still confused as to how they were able to do it, maybe mostly because they were dealing with small children's toys. But man, Toy Story, it holds up.
Yeah, it's good.
No, Tom Hanks in Philadelphia playing an AIDS patient, that holds up all day long.
I've never seen that movie because I've always thought, you know what? That's not how I want to end my Wednesday night.
Could you, Tuttle? Do you think about
it's gonna make me sad?
Remember all the stuff we used to do, like Man on the Street stuff, where there was like police involved. It was like, people
wasting our text.
You guys used to make a lot of messes.
People were calling. I remember one time I was riding a
in
horse.
the lake, right? In Lake Eola. That's one of the ones I always
You want to know the
remember.
one that was really the biggest pain in my ass that I don't think I've ever vocalized to you and Tuds?
When they dumped
this is a new thing.
The roadkill in the dumpster?
No, that one was bad too.
The one where Jimmy shot a gun?
Both of those were bad. Both of those were bad. The roadkill
man.
the roadkill one was bad only because head of engineering, Mike Spry, was up my you-know-what, because, of course,
We dumped a full dead deer in a dumpster.
a whole deer.
In
But
a corporate dumpster at Maitland Business Complex.
Oh, my God.
Flies.
The one
Rotting
that
deer.
like literally did the most for me is you guys did a stunt off, and it may not have even been you, Tom, but it was definitely Tuds doing a stunt off with, I believe, you and Whopper against Cup and Banana from Planet Smoothie, and you broke a limb off of a tree at J. Blanchard Park that's near Rollins College area, and they broke just a limb, not a big deal, and this lady is still emailing me. It has been 26 years, and I'm still paying reparations to fix the park.
Oh, no.
That was the first hardcore ladder match that we did.
Yes, there's the memory. There's the memory.
And
that
we
lady,
put up the
you
belt.
broke her tree, dude.
Can I tell you the worst that I had ever been really hurt, where I was like, yes, I might die? That ridiculous ladder match that we did at the Hard Rock, where it must have been like 20, 25 different characters. And they were basically all characters that Tom had created, like Cup, Banana. There was just like
Wizard
all
Jr.
types of people.
That was my buddy, the John, and then Banana was Fernando.
You went through like a racist series where you went like Wizard, Little Wizard, then you went like Puerto Rican Wizard, Mexican Wizard. Yeah, he had every nationality of wizard.
But Tom, us
the White Wizard was Grand Wizard, which was odd.
But Tom, us inviting those amateurs into it, because say what you want, like we always kind of went a little bit more hardcore, but we knew how to pull punches. I remember some random dude, he was dressed in some weird costume.
That was Albanian Wizard.
Hit me over the head with a metal chair and did not even pull the punch at all. I mean, he put
Tuttle, I remember this. Hold on.
Oh my
no,
God.
Tuttle, I remember this. He did it with the wrong
just
side.
some listener.
No, you could have hit with a chair. It's a wrestling move. No, he
How
did. He
did they
turned
let
it
us do
around
it?
and hit him with the edge. You don't hit with the edge. You hit with the flat part.
Again, I know you guys, everybody's tired of hearing me screaming, but how did they let us do it? How? Because I think that guy was just a listener that I was like, hey,
They got lucky that you guys didn't sue them.
put the
Cactus
suit on.
Steve.
He tried to bludgeon me. He bludgeoned me with a chair.
But they blacked out drunk. All of us were blacked out. I mean, wasted, drinking all day
So
before.
Tuds, you mean to tell me that in the Hobo Fish Camp you don't have a series of characters like that?
Oh no, we definitely do. Man.
You've got
But
how's the
I'm
show
trying-
going? What's new in the space? What's new over in your?
All right, so this here, I'll show you. Hold on, let me turn around here. You
All right, you can see
that
this
camper
live
in
on
the background
you
right
can see
there.
this live on cam, twitch.tv/TomandDan Live. Yeah.
So
nice.
so that camper in the background. Okay, they just bought a brand new camper.
That's
all right?
nice.
So they moved it in yesterday, and the owner was out here. He's always very nosy, the one that I've been dealing with all the problems. And then he comes in the next morning. Oh, you need to move your trailer another like foot and a half over because you're on the other space. And the woman here like completely just lost her S, like was just yelling, calling the guy just a CS-er. I mean, it was just crazy. And she went inside, but they ended up moving the trailer. And it's just the type of stuff that we have to deal with.
It's a typical it's a Wednesday morning at the Hobo Fish Camp.
Let me ask you guys about this. So
Please.
yesterday,
I'm pro
was
CS.
Better views than I do.
Yeah, I
I
know.
just see some cats.
If all I got to do is listen to some lady yell the C word, I'm okay.
Yeah, it's right on the intercoastal. It's a beautiful area.
It really is.
It's
and
amazing.
the water's
that it's
really,
there.
really blue and clear. Oh, I got paid $200 to shoot a wedding here at the Hobo Fish Camp.
Yeah, that's about right.
They're coming to get him.
Well, he admitted
This will not end well.
No, so like that's the thing about it is like I know that the filter is not that great, but like like how the cameras they have that portrait mode where it like focuses on the subject you're shooting and blurs out the background.
Oh, yeah,
Hold on.
So
first, why did they hire you? Are you offering
shooting
your
a hobo wedding?
Okay, all right. So originally I was hired to make a playlist. They wanted me to DJ at their wedding, and it was just me plugging my iPhone
ICP
to the
miracles all
Bluetooth
day.
speaker.
Hey, get that nerd that talks to himself in his car to do our video.
Hey, guess what? I got paid $150 for about 45 minutes.
Hey, where's
worth of
DJ
work,
Vicodin?
And then they were like, "Well, you shoot our wedding," and I was like, "Hell yeah!" Well, and then they paid me $200 for that, and they were like, "How do you take such great pictures?" And they didn't understand that it's a portrait mode. Like,
Did
I'm
you
not
steal
doing
my
anything
soul?
fancy.
Hold on. Did you use your iPhone?
Yeah, it's an iPhone 8, but I
iPhone 8?
Yeah,
iPhone 8 was 2006.
To be fair, nobody else there has an iPhone.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
this is new technology.
Well, hold
God.
on.
this is my sponsor
Hold on.
phone. It's a
got
Google
the
Pixel.
people of Hobo Fish Camp bowing down to you with an 8, and I got a 12. I'll come down there and I'll be a
Their
god.
brains.
I'll be a god.
Yeah, so I got paid for that,
That's
and
good.
I'll send you guys. But the pictures were
Yeah, send
great,
me
and I
their
was
wedding
kinda
video.
like-
No, I want to watch that.
I do too.
Hold
We'll
on.
put it on
so,
Twitch.
Yeah.
So did you? Okay, hold on. Let me the comedy's in the details. So they had their wedding. Was it a big wedding?
The devil's in the details.
No, it was like only 3 family members, and then it was a bunch of old people wearing oxygen,
that's good.
oxygen
COVID,
containers
yeah, be
that they have to bring around with them.
Where was it? Like in the park or?
It was in the clubhouse, which is basically a
It's a Burger
screened-in back porch.
Okay.
That and now that's the thing about it.
We will
is that
have the
guy that-
reception in the parlor, which is a burned out Hooters.
It seems odd to me that they.
I mean,
would
it's
even
not
be
like getting married on a boat while a bunch of cigar boats
I
go
mean,
speeding
it's
by
not too far
in
off.
South Miami.
Yeah.
I forgot Tuttle was invited to that.
I mean,
Different time.
I mean, the only difference between what you're describing and Tom's wedding is 75 more people.
I mean, I laughed my ass off during the wedding when those guys came by on that big power boat, and like Tom couldn't even be mad because that would be him at a younger age, just speeding by and just trying to like screw up somebody's wedding.
I don't think that guy
music
was trying to screw it up.
Just
He just was
Pitbull party.
he was just partying. He was
It
just
is,
a Miami party.
in a cigarette boat. Now, but it's weird to me that they would like obviously have a scaled down wedding.
What was the food like?
And then even concern themselves about
it was
hiring
Swedish meatballs that were bought in
I
a
like that.
package that they just
Stouffer's?
heated up.
Every redneck wedding I've been to, you always get the.
Hey, the secret is you put grape jelly with the meatballs.
Yeah.
You're right.
The
that's-
secret
jelly.
is
Yes. Chili sauce and
I think-
me mom made her world famous grape jelly, chili sauce, and meatballs. The secret is the grape jelly.
Really, is it a
Why-
secret? Because these meatballs
You
taste
do-
like F.
White trash love meatballs. I don't know why. Why is that?
I love meatballs.
No,
I
hey,
do like a
now,
meatball.
guys,
I just,
Grape,
what is it?
you gotta try meatballs, grape jelly, chili
Hey.
sauce, meatballs.
Do you want to know the show that pisses me off the most? My mom loves the Pioneer Woman.
Oh, I love
the
no,
Cooking Network.
don't be
but
messing
no,
with Pioneer
but let's be
Woman.
honest.
I love
that
her.
bitch is so rich.
Oh, she
it's
is.
not like she's cooking like real like Southern like comfort food and stuff.
She does.
I mean, is she really cooking all that stuff?
Yeah, I think
Well,
she
it's all
does.
for
No,
the
hell no.
show.
But she is rich. I mean, she's
Yeah.
stinking rich,
Yeah.
but I like
Yeah.
barefoot Contessa.
Tuttle, you know everything's fake. Like everything's.
Tuttle had his
you know,
fair
Like,
share.
all right, so you know what I thought was fake? Have you guys checked out Cat Lawyer yet? I mean, that was
Yes.
trending everywhere.
What is
you guys
that?
have?
That's fake, right? It was the lawyer.
No, I think it was fake. I think this guy was just trying to get his business. Tom, you haven't heard of Cat Lawyer yet?
No, what is that?
There was basically a,
All right,
a
so
trial on Zoom.
this, there. I mean, they're doing a lot of these cases on Zoom, and you know how sometimes you can get those Zoom filters, okay? And I don't want to ruin the video for you, but the guy is like not a cartoonish cat filter. It's kind of like a real cat filter, but the eyes move in what direction that the lawyer is looking. and the back and forth was pretty brilliant. But the whole time, that's what radio has done to us. Say this? It has made us just so jaded and not believe a damn thing we see.
I believe it's real because I saw an interview with the old man afterwards, and I think he's too dumb and old to fake it.
Here we go. This is called Tom watches himself be a lawyer. Okay, here. Let me make sure I get this.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings.
The eyes moving.
You might want to take
we're trying to. Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's
wait
a filter.
Wait for it.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but
his name is Travis.
Hold on.
I'm prepared to go forward with it.
He's gonna power through.
I'm not a cat.
That's the best line. He goes, "I'm really alive. I'm not a cat.
I'm not a real cat."
Hold on.
All right, that does make me laugh.
Here we go.
I can see that.
Here.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
That's you, buddy. That's all you.
What I'm
that is you. Look how naturally you're happy for
During
that.
lunch, I did have a freak out when I was trying to figure out how to scan something.
I saw you doing that.
I ordered Butler to stop eating his lunch and to help me scan this because if I scan it the way I know how, there's a line that goes through and I don't know where it's saved. Then one of them was upside down, and I'm like, I can't send it upside down. They'll think I'm an idiot.
Then Butler finishes that, then turns to me and says,
Hey, when you eat green beans, they ever taste fishy?
I know. I've never had a green bean that tastes fishy.
What the hell
I just did not comment when you guys talk to each other in there now because it's insanity.
He's eating
But
fish
guys,
beans.
though, I mean, that had to. I mean, I am so like just jaded that I believe everything is fake now. Like, do you think? I mean, because this guy was on Good Morning America, the Today
it went
Show.
viral.
Now he's like one of the most famous lawyers out there. Was that genuine?
I wouldn't
No
call
one
him.
even knows his name. They just know him as Cat Lawyer.
Well, yeah, he's one of the most famous lawyers for being
goof.
an idiot
Yeah.
for not understanding technology. Like, no one
I
wants
wouldn't want to
that.
hire him. Yeah.
Like no one wants the guy.
But isn't attention either way though? I mean,
Yeah, that's for '90s radio show hosts, not lawyers, to
Exactly.
make their
Yeah.
living.
so
trying
you're
to...
telling me you would not, Tom Van of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan,
Ooh, don't
that
put me in
you
this.
had to slip up with wearing and maybe you're an aardvark or a possum or a raccoon or something, and you got one of
Raccoon.
those filters on and you go viral, you wouldn't be like, oh hell yeah, man, this is great attention for the show, or would
Yeah,
you be
but
like,
he's not a
"Oh,
lawyer."
So, like it all depends on what you are doing. If you are,
if you're supposed to
promoting
instruct
yourself
people
as-
on how to use Zoom, you see what I'm saying? Like if
or
you're like a
wanna-
tech guy, that's a bad one.
or want to look like a competent, a lawyer that knows technology.
Maybe he's good at law, but not good at technology.
Yeah.
There are those guys out there.
So
Also, you're right,
Okay.
Tuttle. It could be totally fake and could be staged, and I'm getting more and more jaded by all that. It kind of ties into my Britney Spears theory. But anyway, I'll tell you all about
now
it.
I do have two questions that I've talked about this week. All right, so yesterday was my parents' 47th wedding anniversary.
Holy moly! Congratulations!
Wow.
Now my dad is getting to the age, okay, that maybe he's not remembering things as much as he used to. Now, I usually get up in the morning. I try to get my show recorded, but I kind of hung out until my dad got up, and
Good
I wanted
call.
to bring him his clothes and stuff. And I leaned in and I whispered, I said, hey, just to let you know, today is your 47th
Good call.
wedding anniversary. Now, let me ask you, now, is that a betrayal of my mom?
Absolutely not. You're a good son.
No, I
No,
just,
you're a good
like, 'cause
son.
I kind of felt bad about it.
No. It's a win-win. It's good for her because your dad is able to remember. Look, your body and your mind is going to break down. He can't stop that.
Yeah.
You're
And
a
he's a
good-
real man,
yeah.
so he's more likely to not remember those things anyway.
His main
But-
concern, sorry if I'm getting too serious here, Tuds, but his main concern is your mom, providing her cancer, whatnot, making sure,
exactly.
right? So he's handled that. Yeah, I think he earned the right for you to whisper in his ear, just so you know, today's the day. And then it makes it good. They can have a good day without having to monkey it up with unnecessary. I mean, I forget our anniversary, my wife and I's anniversary, and I'm not even an older real man. I'm a younger soft man.
But 47 is pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like symmetrical things. I would like, hopefully, and great, they may make it to the 50th
we'll
wedding
shoot for that.
anniversary and stuff. But yeah, no, Tom, you would like this, and this is no joke. My dad thought cards were a waste of money. He really did. So what he would do is he would take my mom to the Winn-Dixie Brandywine, which is right near where Daniel lived.
Oh yeah.
And would take her to the card section and say, "Hey, honey, pick out a card that you want." And she would read it, and she'd be like, "All right, happy Valentine's Day, happy anniversary, happy birthday."
That's a very Tom thing to do. That's an advanced Tom.
No, but what I'm saying though is I know that it's kind of corny or kind of an a-hole thing to do, but it was like that one thing that my parents would joke about. They would look forward to. I think
he thought it was funny, and she thought it was funny, right?
Yeah, no, they loved it.
Yeah.
They absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Also, now when you tell your dad that his wedding anniversary, does he freak out and run out to buy something,
Red
or
Bull.
does he just?
No. Real
Okay.
man. He's like exactly what I would say. Thanks for telling me, but I gotta poop.
Oh, yeah.
No, because
I
that's
was
the
gonna
first
say
thing
it-
he does in the morning.
It'd be like, "Hey, Dad, hold on a second. Dad, your wedding anniversary." There we go. Come a little bit.
Now, can I tell you, like how we always think of things, like I've noticed the older I get, I cough like my dad.
Oh yeah.
But I've also
That's
noticed
COVID.
that our bowel movements smell the same. Is that like passed down or?
Oh
like,
yeah. You
Well, are
will.
you eating the same meals?
Well, no,
Yeah.
it is a fact. It is a scientific fact that your digestive bacteria and your good gut bacteria inside of you. I mean, there are billions of little tiny organisms within there breaking down food within your gut bacteria.
By the way, I take a probiotic every day.
Yeah, well, it's good. And you should have the same gut rot that your dad has. Exactly the same. So anything that comes out of you will take on basically the same decomposition. I feel like, it's going to be exactly the same because your strand of actual living organisms is the same. It's like yeast in the brewing world, right?
Tuttle, what are you doing for a hobby nowadays? When you're not
Astrophotography.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Hold on. What does that mean?
All right, so now I've been studying this. Okay, so there is so much light pollution in the United States of America. They say up to 80% of Americans have not seen the true night sky. Now, let me give you an example. Back in 1994, they had an earthquake in L.A.
Man, you
which
are
knocked
sober.
out-
Holy crap.
What's that? What's that now?
No, I said, oh my God, you are sober. Holy crap.
Yeah. Well, here I'm ready for the pose down. By the way, Tom, when you want to oil down.
Shifted into 90s again.
Just pooped up the back like Michael Jackson.
So what I'm trying to say,
Down.
back in 1994, they had an earthquake that knocked out all of the power in the city, and they had over 1,000 911 calls because people actually saw the Milky Way galaxy for the first time.
And they called 911?
Yeah, because they thought they were being invaded by aliens.
So is the
No,
idea
What do you
that
think
I'm not
911's
joking.
gonna do?
So the idea is we're so
Yeah.
light polluted right now that we're not able to appreciate the actual.
The true night sky.
Yeah, if we saw the actual night sky, we would freak us out because we're like, whoa, that's not what we're used to.
Kind of like my wife's
Okay.
face.
But now there is only one true designated dark sky place in the state of Florida. Now, can you guys guess where that place is?
Okay, there's one place in Florida that you could actually
Everglades.
be
See,
in.
with no light pollution at all.
Okay,
I think it's the wedding at the Hobo fish camp.
well, Samantha did bring up Everglades. I would probably guess
Yeah,
the Everglades.
Okeechobee, basically. I mean, it's right on the edge of the Everglades. And you can see the true night sky
That
and
is
see the Milky Way galaxy. And
fun
yes,
fact.
I've been doing that. I've
go
been
camping
doing
there.
astrophotography and stuff. And I know it seems really, really nerdy, but
No, I
we
think it's
all
kinda
have
cool.
to find those little things to keep us busy during this pandemic.
here's the problem with this. When I've been to like Colorado, where there's like barely any light pollution, and like you're like in some place near a mountain, and there's just a small town, so you see way more stars, right? And it is amazing. You look up, you're like, oh my God, like look how many stars there are, and then you look, you're like, all right, now what? It's like it's like fireworks. It's like you see, you're like, oh yeah, and then you're like, okay, I got the point. You can't stare at it for hours upon hours
unless you're really into it.
But our human brain does not understand large amount of numbers. For example, okay, if I told you to count to 1 to 1 million,
please don't ask me.
No, how long do you think that would be?
I think
I'd go home and work out before he'd finish.
If you just went through 1 second at a time,
like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, how long would that take you to count to 1 million?
Like something like 10 days straight or something?
No, 31 days.
Okay, all right, yeah.
1 to 1 billion. How long would that take you?
10 years?
No, 31 years.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're getting too high.
So people don't understand numbers. Okay,
listen, I know.
Screw you guys. You know what?
No, it's true.
I'm like Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
That's
why I do not get sleep. That's why I do not get sleep because I look up random facts while I'm trying to go to bed, and it makes me question my life and existence, and I just sit there and just wait to die. That's exactly what I do every single night.
Well, you could have just said that instead of giving us
Tom for making fun of me.
Yeah, gonna cut to the chase.
You could have just said, I want to die, instead of going, numbers.
How many times?
31.
500. Oh, God damn.
Like max.
You know what? The difference between you and me is when I want to die, I don't put everybody else through hell to get there. I just go die.
Feel like a cat and just walk out into the woods and die.
Plug your show, man, because we got to get out of here.
Oh, yeah. So now I'm on a new schedule. Monday through Friday, I do the regular podcast. And then at 7 p.m., I do a live stream on my YouTube channel, which I am now monetized on.
Nice.
Wait. What? Oh, man. Screwdriver Sanders is over there banging on something right now.
Screwdriver Sanders?
Yeah, hey, you guys have heard of hoarders? Here, hold on, guys.
No, don't do it. No. If you break the third or fourth wall, it ruins it.
He's very, very cool. Okay, hold on. Just
what is that?
Hold on, I gotta bring my wife.
This is when Tuttle gets stabbed with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
We're going rogue here.
I'm gonna go talk to Screwdriver Sanders here.
We don't got all that
He's got a
time.
nice, right on the water. I mean, how?
Nice looking
nice
ring,
spot.
dude.
How-
That is a spot to have.
How could you?
I feel like I'm
eventually
about to
be that poor and have such a great view.
Mr. Screwdriver Sanders, have you gotten many screwdrivers this year? No? I don't think he's talking to me today. Can you hear me, Mr. Sanders? Can you hear me?
You want a
All right, so what do you got?
I got a Coke. I got one
No new screwdrivers this year? Yeah, you did. I can't believe they made you move earlier, so all right. I can tell Mr.
Nobody was
I got scared that I was going to watch a human be killed.
No.
We cannot show that on Twitter.
And I didn't know which way it was going to go.
Yeah.
Guys, no. I felt the room, and the room didn't feel good.
Yeah, that's bad. I got one warm Pepsi. Why don't you get the hell out of my face?
He pulls an old, rusty shotgun that breaks it out. You didn't put the 2 shells.
He's shaking when he does it.
And blows your raccoon.
I didn't want.
He's a former.
I didn't want to kill Chester Bennington, but I had to.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Chester Bennington. Here, hold on. Tom, you said here. Let me take off my.
Oh, there he is.
I don't know.
Oh, get away from me, Lincoln Park.
No, okay, before we started on Twitch, this is why you should listen to Twitch. Tuttle, or Daniel said Tuttle was shredded, and I was like, no,
he's getting abs.
I'm like, you're exaggerating, you know.
Oh, he's gonna take all his clothes off on Twitch now.
All right, so just to let you know, I have a little bit of a pouch from all the drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's like someone that's it's doughy. Be like,
it looks good.
I would be shredded, but I'm doughy. That's how every human is.
Okay,
Sorry.
there you go.
Yeah.
That was very 90s.
Okay,
No,
I think we do. We gotta go.
Yeah, you look
Hold on,
like
I can't hear you because I don't have my ear buds
Oh
in.
my God. Okay.
you're in lawn care shape.
Oh.
I'm just saying. It's what it is. What it is. You
Hey,
work
guess
hard.
what? Remember when you were a heavyweight and I was like a lightweight and you knocked me out because Brett Bushy basically told us before we went out.
What are you bringing up?
Before
You know I feel
went
bad.
out, he said, if you fake this, you're not getting a goddamn thing.
He did say that.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
a very horrible person.
And by the way, I was on 8 pain pills, so I never
I
felt
know
you
you
knocked
were.
me out that night.
I
I
didn't
was
knock
on the
you
blue
out.
meanies too.
Todd,
I told you, I said, hey, I got to really punch you. Let's really punch each other to get the money. And then we agreed because we're both poor. We needed the money.
Yeah.
And we were fine with punching each other. And then you bring it up every single time like I'm some sort of bully. But we agreed right before the fight. You
you
punched
were
me
a bully.
too. You hit me in the head too. I
no,
just
you
hit
were
you
a
better.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. All right, man. Listen. Hey, and all right, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Okay.
I love you. Thank
Love you
you,
too.
Tuttle Daily
Bye.
Podcast.
See ya.
Samantha looks even. All right, bye.
Bye. Okay.
Bye.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
You know, you just gotta cut it off.
Yeah, I know. I
Never
try.
stop.
These two, they start bickering at each other again.
Oh, God, here comes Scrooge. Screwdriver Johnson.
It's Sanders.
Sanders.
I got. It's only been a couple of minutes.
Bye-bye.